Jamaica with a nice cup of morning roast. Featuring
Fillmore's finest, Monte Hill.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. You know, I didn't realize it was Veterans Day.
Yes.
I didn't realize that until late last night when Anna said, "Oh, do you have the day off tomorrow?"
Well, you asked me
and
about
I chuckled.
money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And then you were asking about why is our check come in,
on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, and I said, well, it's Veterans Day. It's a federal holiday on Friday.
Except for sports radio, right?
Well, and also all the people that have served this great country over the years.
Doubt.
Respect to them because
no doubt.
My friend, I have a bunch of friends, but Marty Hagney and Eric Bellato, Kevin Murphy, just to name a few, they serve this great country as United States Marines, and it's a day that means more to people like that than I would ever even begin to comprehend.
No doubt. I just didn't know it was a holiday. I was like, man, people get the day off. A lot of people are taking a day off anyway. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Hopefully you have a special time. And look, we're going to have a special show. We got a great guest list today. I usually don't come out and talk about the guest list. I usually just say, hey, good morning, everybody out there. Get off their graveyard shift to teachers, students, garbage men, garbage women, firefighters, policemen, cops, you name it. But, man, the guest list today is loaded. John Bosa, father of Nick and Joey. He's going to join us at 7:20.
Love him.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get the Bosa Bowl because Joey is still nursing a groin injury.
Yeah.
But then we get Mike Tirico, the voice of Sunday Night Football, 8 o'clock. And I know you're going to get a golf question in because he's a big golfer.
Yeah, golfed with the president many times.
I got a story about him in the 98 U.S. Open. And then Brad Graham, our boy, at 8:30.
Oh, nice.
Brad Graham, SF Niners will break down Chargers Niners. So this is a big weekend. Look, we're going to start with the Warriors. Of course, they host the Cavaliers tonight, and we're going to give away some tickets. We're giving away some tickets.
I'm not starting there. I'm not starting the Warriors.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I know where I'm starting.
Where are you starting?
I'm starting with, we started this season, football season.
Oh.
Dubbing it the year Shanahan.
Oh, I was going to bring up a story.
What story?
Well, yesterday I ran into a guy at the San Ramon City Center, which is just a beautiful complex, who was wearing the shiniest of shiny Gucci shoes.
That's my type of guy.
Yeah, and he walks over to me and he goes, "Where the hell's Bonte Hill?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "I knew you were going to be here, and I wore my favorite Gucci shoes, and I'm going to show them to you right now." There they are, the shiny blacks.
Oh, yeah, those are hard.
Yeah.
Those are hardcore.
Yes.
That's next level. That screams, I'm a boss. You're not.
Yeah, well, here's my man right here in our selfie. Boom, you and me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as I show you the picture.
Wow, swaggy.
Yeah.
Was he Italian?
I don't even know, but the guy's got major swag, and he was oozing confidence. And basically, I want to give a shout out to Rome Burger because this place just fed your boy like crazy, and they want to host you, B. You got to come on down there.
I didn't get an invite yesterday. You see how that works?
City Center wants you to move to San Ramon.
You see how this works, Spinodi? And love it. Your boy yesterday asked Pilo to get in the video, said not the morning roast, said me, and then he goes to Road Burger, guys wearing Gucci's for me, and the invite got lost in the mail.
Well, time out. If I would have said to you, Bonte, I'm shooting a video for work in San Ramon at 2:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I probably wouldn't have came.
You won't even come to the O Club for a workout and a little meal with me.
Well, I got the workout clubhouse at the gym, and I've been to the O Club. I'll be at the O Club soon. Don't worry about it. I'll be there. Got things to do. People to see. Time is limited. All right? Your boy's pulling double duty out here.
So those Gucci's, those black, shiny Gucci's.
Yeah, those are hard.
Are those baller status?
Yeah, that's baller status.
Okay.
That's baller status.
I looked at them. They were so shiny. I mean, they were sweet, right? And I was like, damn, look at those. I didn't know who he was.
I don't even think those are in the stores right now.
Oh, is that how new those are?
Yeah, I mean, no, that's just how presidential they are.
Can we make a field trip as a show out to the San Ramon City Center at some point?
Yeah, no doubt.
I now understand why people live in the suburbs.
San Ramon
is beautiful.
It's beautiful. Waldo Creek, Pleasant Hill, Concord is beautiful. And I thought about moving out there. Unfortunately, our work is on this side of the bridge.
I know.
And the commute is just not for me. I'm not a big traffic guy. Yeah. Traffic kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Who is a big traffic person?
I don't know. Some people enjoy traffic.
I'm a traffic guy.
Yeah, some people enjoy it. They listen to the music, podcasts, whatnot. They can get through it. I can't because people drive crazier in traffic.
Yeah, traffic backed up, middle finger stuck.
Yeah.
Shout out E40.
Shout out E40. These Gucci shoes, I'm looking on the website right now, are not on the site.
Oh, so he has unreleased Gucci material.
Or limited edition Gucci material.
All right, so we're gonna do a field trip out to San Ramon City Center. All right, and
what's this guy's name?
Ryan Crawford got it. I forgot his name. I pull in a Bonte. I met somebody. They know me. I forgot their names. Like, how does that go? I don't even know how that.
I know they know me. I forgot their names, but they know me. That's Wes and Nanette. Shout out to Wes and Nanette. Wes and Nanette. Hopefully, I see you at Chase Center later tonight.
Look, I just want to give a special thank you to Josh and Lynn over at Rome Burger.
Yeah.
They fed me. I waited all day. I got a great workout in the morning. Okay, I went out there. The Tejano burger, Bonte. They take tortilla chips and they put it in between. There's avocado, pepper jack.
Oh my
God. Yes. There's like this relish thingy that they
got
put
to
on
work out it.
Oh, your boy put down the Tejano burger, went to the fried chicken burger.
Oh, my God.
They brought me a mint chocolate chip milkshake, which I drank.
Gosh.
3 different kinds of fries. So they had the regular white potato. You know, I'm Irish, so I got to have my fries.
Right.
Oh, also, the Brussels sprouts, before I forget. I'm not a Brussels sprout.
You loaded up.
Your boy probably put in 5,000 calories.
Oh, my God.
They had the white French fries. They had the white flesh. Then they had the sweet potato French fries. Then they had this it was like cucumber zucchini things that were like shaved and fried. Unbelievable. Dude, knocked me on my butt.
Man, you know what?
I just went Rome Burger. Thank you.
I need some Rome Burger in my life.
They're in the South Bay.
It may be worth the trip.
Look, and let me just say this: they're in the South Bay. They're in the city. They're in San Jose. They're in San Mateo. They're in Chestnut. They're out in San Ramon.
Oh, they're in the city.
Oh yeah, they got 2 locations in the city. The flagship, the first one was on Union Street. I've been there many times.
Oh wow, I haven't been there. I didn't know about it.
So I always build my own burger, right? Because I'm like, I'll just build my own burger.
Right.
The Tejano. I'm good. The Tejano. And my boy Josh, me and him, we're like kindred spirits. We're gonna go golfing. I got the whole thing set up.
Yeah, I need that in my life. By the way, I searched all over for these Gucci shoes while you were talking.
Yeah.
He's got limited edition Gucci's.
Well, homie, City Center
That's
and
the next
San Ramon,
level.
homie. Call in. Direct to the bat line.
Right.
888-957-9979.
This guy, so this guy, he looked kind of like George Clooney in a way.
Oh, dude.
He's got that bravado. He's got that aura.
Yeah.
He's flossy.
Yeah, but
Peacoat, sweater.
Listens to the station all day. Knows everybody. Ripped Steiny. Was ripping Willard.
Oh, he's ripping them.
Like in a cute, playful way.
Yeah.
He loves everybody.
No,
he wants us to do a broadcast there all day. And I'm like, I'm down.
That means we get to eat every break.
They got boba. They got udon noodles. They got everything out there.
Got every. So this is just not a burger spot.
It is a place where your daughter can run around on the AstroTurf and stuff, and you can just chill out, and it's beautiful. They've got the heat lamps. I'm telling you, they got a movie theater.
Sideshow Bob's is on it. I'm on a strict diet, Butch. That would have been all bad for me.
Well, that
would set me back.
Why do you think your boy ate no breakfast, ate no dinner? I was like
so damn good.
And look, a beach whale yesterday.
And speaking of Taco Bell,
speaking
of Taco Bell, Sister Shark scored 4 goals last Saturday. Everybody got free Taco Bell. I didn't even redeem my 4 tacos.
Oh,
that's how strict my diet is. I said no to Taco Bell.
Oh,
you know how hard that is?
Yeah. Right now I'm being shamed by my cousin for eating too much Chick-fil-A. And so, I'm like, look, man.
We went heavy on the Chick-fil-A.
I eat Chick-fil-A.
Dude,
Back off me.
Listen, last Friday, and shout out to Susanna, shout out to Phil, Chick-fil-A and Ceremony. Your boy had Chick-fil-A for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Strict diet.
Friday, they came in with the Chick-fil-A. They came in with the spicy biscuit, the spicy deluxe, the hash browns, another spicy deluxe, and I basically had Chick-fil-A all day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was a Chick-fil-A day.
All right, nice.
And then Saturday, you work it out and you feel good about yourself.
I know. Right now, my legs are burning. Your boy did core leg day yesterday, and
shout out Burger Road in Hayward.
Oh, haven't been there. I want to check that out.
I don't know.
I think we need to do a world tour of Bay Area food at some point.
Needs to happen. Eat for free.
All right.
Eat for free.
Now I will allow you to continue to the normal content. I just want to give the appropriate appreciation to people that, when you feed me, it becomes a level of kinship that I have to
I just want to meet the guy in the coochies.
Acknowledge.
I just want to meet the guy in the coochies.
Yeah.
The black shiny coochies. Like, where did he get those?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm now intrigued.
His game was ready for you.
Oh. His game was better than mine. Sounds like he came in with swag. Anyway, the Gucci's. I'm going to keep the Gucci's on ice for a second. As the Warriors take on the Cavaliers tonight. We got some sound from Steve Kerr about the Golden State Warriors and what's going on with the youngsters, Wiseman and Kuminga. But I did want to start here. because I've been saying, you probably annoyed at me saying this, but I'm saying the Niners are getting ready to hum.
Okay.
They're getting ready to go on a run here. And when I look at the record of Shanahan in the month of November, the month of December, the month of January, I get excited. I get excited about Kyle Shanahan, thinking about what is this guy going to cook up. And there was a turning point for me because I know a lot of people think I hate Kyle Shanahan. Oh, Bonte, you hate Kyle Shanahan. I'm going to ask you, Butch, what coach would you take over Kyle Shanahan in the NFC going forward?
As a game?
For this year. For a game. What coach are you taking over Kyle Shanahan as we get ready for this playoff run?
I think the only one, you're talking about the NFC specifically.
In the NFC.
Yeah, I look at it here. I don't know what Sirianni's bringing to the table in a playoff game. I haven't seen it. So I think I have to move him to the side. Like, until I see it, I kind of got to move him to the side. They lost their playoff game last year, right? It was their one and only playoff game.
Yeah, in Tampa.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy.
I don't think I have enough of a sample size. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for Sirianni.
Yes. So let's put him to the side because he gets a lot of credit for what he's done.
But you're going to take Shanahan over him right now.
Of course.
Okay, so that's the question.
I'm going through the NFC.
Right.
All
Mike
right?
McCarthy.
I think Mike McCarthy's a loser. Like, that's what I think he is. But I take a step back and I go, he has been in a lot of high-level playoff games. Now, you could say, Joe, he had Aaron Rodgers for all those years. Look what happened last year when the Niners played him, and he had Dak Prescott, and they looked underwhelming, and they were fighting till the end, but underwhelming is the way I would put it in a home game. I'm taking Shanahan over McCarthy.
All right, so now we got Brian Daboll. I haven't seen it, right?
TBD on Brian Daboll. I'm taking Shanahan.
So, Todd Bowles.
Just because of Brady, you're going to give him the benefit of the doubt? I'm taking Shanahan over Todd Bowles.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay? It's not a question. All right? It's not a question.
All right, so then we look at the NFC North. Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota. Don't know. He's been with the Rams. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams being part of that offensive staff.
But you know what my theory is on those things. I am a little reluctant to embrace someone whose head coach cuts their teeth on that side of the ball and then they get a job. Think Dan Quinn under Pete Carroll. Like, I just never really believed in him. But Mike McDaniels was under Kyle Shanahan, and he seems to be doing a really good job. And this guy up in Minnesota who was under Sean McVay seems to be doing a great job. I'm taking Shanahan right now.
All right.
The Shanahan's a playoff-proven winner.
So then we go down to Pete Carroll.
And this is where I kind of go up in the air. I think right now I'm taking Kyle Shanahan, but I don't want to sleep or disrespect Pete Carroll. Like, I think Pete Carroll is one of the all-time great coaches in my life. I don't know where he stacks up, but it's just him and Jimmy Johnson that won national championships and won Super Bowls. And Switzer, but Switzer,
Switzer kind of won with Jimmy's team.
I lean more those two as like the top two. And I look at Pete Carroll and I thought he was done. I thought he was done, and I look at what he's done with that young roster and what he's done in the draft this year. They have knocked it out of the park in the draft this year, what he's done with Geno Smith.
2 rookie tackles.
And then I look at what he's done head-to-head against Kyle Shanahan, right? It's been pretty even for the most part. It's pretty even.
Yeah, no, he brings the Seahawks to play. That game on Thursday Night Football in December is going to probably be for the NFC West, so maybe Pete Carroll's the one guy.
But even then, I still lean Shanahan.
See?
I still lean Shanahan because I think Shanahan's had more recent playoff success than Pete Carroll, and that matters to me. I give you the benefit of the doubt. That matters to me.
So when I look at Shanahan in 2019, the Niners go 7-3 in November, December, and January. And we could remember the games. The loss to Baltimore, right? The loss to Atlanta on the last play of the game, basically. You lose those 2 games. So you're 7-3 in December, November, and January. Then I look at 2021. Niners are 9-4 in November, December, and January. You look at those losses. Those are close losses. The Tennessee game, right? The Seattle game. You had 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They've been in games, even during the pandemic season, where the Niners go 2-7 in November, December. They were in a lot of football games despite the injuries to that team, losing your quarterback, losing your pass rusher, losing your D tackle, losing Richard Sherman late in the season. They had you saw that image of the Niners when they were playing in Glendale for the final 5 weeks. They're playing Arizona, and you see the sweet field with Bosa, Sherman, Garoppolo. I mean, you name it, Deebo Samuel. They had a who's who on the injury reserve list. So what I'm saying here is that Shanahan in November, December has this team humming. They play a brand of football that teams just can't compete with. Physicality, great run game, spacing, big plays, hard-hitting defense, getting after the quarterback, creating havoc. And I expect this team, under Kyle Shanahan, because we dubbed it the year of the Shanahan. And now Shanahan, he's looking at his play script right now in practice. He's going, okay, I got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Oh, boy, I got a play sheet right here for Christian McCaffrey. Oh, wait, Debo's back with the hammy. Well, I've got a booklet right here for Debo Samuel. And then I got Ayuk having a career year, and I got George Kittle, who all of a sudden, he runs a seam route, and I throw McCaffrey out in the flat. Kittle's wide open because people are so hell-bent on stopping Christian McCaffrey. He has the formula and the ingredients to really cook this year and lead this team to immortality. I swear to God, Shasky, I think this team is going to go on a special run. Now, will they win the Super Bowl? I have no idea. I think the playoffs is inevitable. They're going to January. They're going to be playing the big games. This Wetworthy, if they can stay healthy, health is the key for every team. But I really believe this is the year of Shanahan, and he has the ingredients where he can cook, and I expect this offense moving forward to average from 25 to 30 points a game. I truly do.
You bring up health, and I look at it this way. Bosa has to stay healthy the rest of the way.
Yep.
If that groin has any setbacks, we could be in trouble because that defense looks nothing like it normally looks when he's not out there. The other person that has to stay healthy, McCaffrey. He's a game changer for this offense. And I think what he does for the quarterback, what he does for the other playmakers out on that field. So if I were to pick one guy on each side of the ball, I think he's more important than Trent Williams.
Yeah.
I really do. I do. Debo Samuel, obviously you'd like to have him healthy. There's no doubt about it.
But you just proved that you could win a game without Debo Samuel.
That's how awesome Christian McCaffrey is. And I think that one of the things a lot of people did last week was, wow, I mean, I knew McCaffrey was good, but I didn't know he was that good.
And you know what?
I didn't know he was that good.
There was a turning point for me. There's a turning point on the relationship between Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan. I'm telling you, they're up 24-14. How many times in the Shanahan era have we seen them play conservative, run the ball, and just try to play defense? Shanahan said, you know what? We've got a bye week coming up. It's 24-14. I know I don't have Debo Samuel. He's standing next to me with two fat chains on, blinding everybody at SoFi Stadium. Jimmy, we're going to dial up some pass plays. And he dialed up one to Ross Dwelly, who was wide open. To your point about play design, Dwelly was wide open. Partly due to Christian McCaffrey. Drawing all the attention. But Dwelly's wide open. And then he allowed Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the ball down at the goal line, and he threw a dive to George Kittle. To me, Shasky, that told me a couple things. One, the relationship is getting better between Garoppolo and Shanahan because they both know this is a big year and it's up for grabs in the NFC. But two, he's confident in throwing the football to just stick a nail in the coffin of other teams. Something we haven't seen from Shanahan during the tenure of Shanahan or during these 6 years or whatever. So him going for the throat in that situation told me a lot about where Shanahan's mind is right now.
No, that's really interesting. And I felt similarly, like how many times have they won games going away in the last couple of years?
Exactly.
And they really won that Rams game going away. And as you kind of scan the NFC, you know, as bad as the Rams have been, the Bucs barely beat them.
I know.
I mean, they
shouldn't have won the game.
That's what I'm saying. And then I look at the head-to-head between the Niners, and look, the ball could have bounced a lot of different ways, but it didn't. And the Rams tapped out. Like, they just tapped out in that game against the 49ers. So I thought that was a very encouraging win. It feels like they're getting healthy at just the right time.
Well, except for Jason Verrett, who tore his Achilles tendon at practice, and that just stinks. That stinks.
I'm not trying to throw any shade on him. I just saw him playing any ball this year as gravy because he's just been hurt so much. I mean, it's a devastating injury. I feel horrible for him. I do. I feel horrible for him because he spent more time training than he has playing. It feels like that's the end of his career, which is just brutal because he's probably been playing football since he was 4 or 5 years old. But, like, not even trying to be pessimistic. I think being realistic, anyone who looks at the game logs of how often he's played over the last 6 years, it was hard to think that he was going to come in and be a sustainable impact.
Respect to him, man, because tore his ACL in the fourth quarter against the Detroit Lions. That sucked. He's coming back, and look, the corner's they're gonna need help. Diamador Lenore, you're on the clock. Aubrey Thomas, you're on the clock. Sammy Womack III, it's your time. You got to help out Mooney Ward. But you know what? If you get a pass rush, I think the corners would be okay. But that's a tough blow for Jason Verrett and his career. But look, I think it's the year of Shanahan, Shasky. With all that said, And I'm looking at Debo being back, and I think this team is about to cook. So we're going to talk about it. We got John Bosa coming up at 7:20. 7:20, John Bosa, the father of Joey and Nick. Mike Tirico, 8 o'clock. The voice of Sunday Night Football. And Brad Graham of SF Niners, 8:30. It's going to be a heavy football Friday. We will get to the Golden State Warriors, though, because they got a big game tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers, coming in on a 2-game losing streak, losing to Sacramento and the LA Clippers, which should be a fun game at Chase Center tonight, as I believe they're going to wear the new City Edition jerseys tonight. You see the court flipped. They had the black court, the black logo, mid-court. So we'll get to the jerseys or whatnot. That's all coming up. The segment was brought to you by Golden State Lumber, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. Don't forget, we're giving out Warrior tickets. We'll let you know on the other side. That's what's coming up. Sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises.
America's favorite car show makes its final Bay Area stop of the year with a jam-packed weekend of hot rod and fun the whole family will love. It's the Good Guys 32nd Autumn Get-Together, and it's all going down this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. See over 2,500 of the West Coast's coolest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks of all years. Plus, shop the huge swap meet and vendor exhibit. Check out the Smash for Cash Demolition Derby. Experience a tire smoke and burnout competition, Nitro Thunderfest, and so much more. It's all this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
Kirby, they're your driveway mechanic, and they bring the shop to you, Bonte. And our friends over at Kirby just won the Motor Top 20 Award for innovation. Brakes and tire replacements, oil changes, and so much more. And they just added Kirby's eco-friendly wash. It barely uses any water, but it makes your car look brand new. They use all biodegradable products that provide the ultimate shine and protection to both the exterior and the interior of your car, all in the ease of your driveway. The ultimate convenience, easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrival service in your driveway. No waiting rooms, no coordinating rides, direct access to your mechanic, friendly and reliable service, no middlemen, and no upsells. Get $50 off your first oil change with the code OIL50. That's OIL50. Or use my code JOEWASH, JOEWASH, to get a free sealant treatment with the purchase of Kirby's eco-friendly wash. Check out Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com.
America's favorite car show makes its final Bay Area stop of the year with a jam-packed weekend of hot rod and fun the whole family will love. It's the Good Guys 32nd Autumn Get-Together, and it's all going down this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. See over 2,500 of the West Coast's coolest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks of all years. Plus, shop the huge swap meet and vendor exhibit. Check out the Smash for Cash Demolition Derby. Experience a tire smoke and burnout competition, Nitro Thunderfest, and so much more. It's all this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
With energy bills as high as they are, proper weatherproofing is essential. If you're working with a client to upgrade or build a new home, be sure to visit Golden State. They partner with respected brands such as Owens Corning, James Hardie, and Boral Siding. They're a great option for a comfortable home with lower energy bills. Start at GoldenStateLumber.com. Building better in the Bay Area since 1954. Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of California Deluxe Windows. Ever notice? When your neighbors get new windows, there is a large black eye of broken stucco, uneven plaster, and even mismatched paint. At California Deluxe Windows, we never leave a ring around the window. Why? Because we are one of the only companies in California who custom crafts every window and door to your home's exact measurements. Almost everyone else on the radio is a distributor. They grab a window from a warehouse, break open your walls, shove it in, and patch things up. At California Deluxe Windows, we take pride in our work. Our installation technique is so precise, we do not break your stucco. Your house could be covered with potato chips, and we wouldn't crack one.
Call now, and for a limited time, you get 30% off your entire order and 24 months of interest-free financing. 800-874-3600. 800-874-3600. That's 800-874-3600. California Deluxe Windows. Windows engineered for life.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
Where can you light up the tree and the savings? Lowe's, actually. Find deals on endless festive holiday decor, like 20% off all pre-lit artificial trees and endless gifts found only at Lowe's. Like the new Cobalt 257-piece mechanics tool set for $99, valued over $600 if purchased separately. Check back daily for deals during Black Friday month and start saving now at Lowe's. Home to any possibility. Offer valid through 11/16 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
For all your printing needs this holiday, Staples has you covered.
I need custom printed holiday cards for my one-of-a-kind business.
Staples has you covered.
It's beginning to look a lot like I need custom party invites. Fast.
I need cards for everyone who gave me a hand this year, without spending an arm and a leg.
Staples has you covered with personalized holiday cards and invites. And now save 40% on custom holiday cards and invitations. For everything you need printed, go to Staples, the working and learning store. In-store and online, ends 12/17. Exclusions and restrictions apply.
This is Steve Kerr, and you're listening to the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
All right, Steve Kerr, the Golden State Warriors getting ready to host the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'll let you know in the 7 o'clock hour how you can win tickets. Tickets. Going to be between 7:30 and 7:45. Right after John Bosa, the father of Nick and Joey Bosa. Of course, Chargers and Niners. It was supposed to be the Bosa Bowl, but Joey's got a groin injury, and he's going to be out for a little while longer. Hasn't come back onto the practice field yet. Also, Jerry Rice Monday at 8:30 to recap Sunday Night Football, so you don't want to miss that as well. It feels like it's the year of Kyle Shanahan. What about Steve Kerr? Let's talk about him for a second. Steve Kerr to Golden State Warriors, because Steve Kerr took the podium yesterday. He also talked to Damon Ratto right here on 95.7 The Game, and he was talking about the rotation, Shask. I want to play this cut here about the rotations. And just about where he's at with them and whether or not it should be winning games regardless of the rotation.
No matter what happens, we know the areas we have to improve in, and that's what we're looking for from every group. Our starting group has been great. I think they're still the number one five-man combination in the league, but we just haven't been able to sustain the effort. We've had a lot of different combinations. We haven't really found a consistent pattern, and that's been the issue. But in order to find that pattern, you got to look at the details. Are we going to continue to be last in the league in fouls and sending teams to the line? Are we going to give up transition hoops? Are we going to turn it over? We always talk about taking away the easy points from the other team, and we just haven't done that at all. So regardless of the combinations, we got to button up. We got to tighten up our game.
Tighten up their game, button up, shot selection, turnovers, getting back on defense, not getting blown by in a half-court set, not going through lulls where you just take bad shots and don't play defense and you give up 12-0 runs. The Warriors do have to button up. It's go time. I mean, I know we're only 11 games in, but you want to start seeing them practice good habits here moving forward.
I mean, the search for combinations, lineups, minute allocations, it's an ever-moving target, and you're never going to nail it just right. But it feels like they are behind the eight ball of where they would like to have been. And I heard him alluding to, this week being more like a training camp because they finally got some opportunity to sit down and practice. It's all, it's a work in progress right now. And I don't know how you solve it. The fouling problem to me is probably the toughest thing because last year they also were like bottom 10 in the league in terms of fouls. I thought they were like one of the 4 worst, but I could be wrong. And they're the only team in the last 40 years to be in the bottom 10 in terms of fouls and win a championship, which is kind of a crazy sentence to say out loud. But I would also say that the team that you see during the regular season probably is the least like the team you see in the playoffs because of how they shorten things and they don't go 8, 9, 10, 11 deep. They go 7 deep, really. Maybe they pick another guy to come out there and contribute based on the matchup. So, I don't know. It's just, I'm really worried about where they're at defensively right now.
Here's what he also had to say about Clay and Poole making everybody's life easier. Of course, this was with Damon and Ratto yesterday on 95.7 The Game.
The thing that's going to happen here soon is that Jordan and Clay are going to kick it into gear. Neither guy has gotten off to a good start. So that's the main thing, is that, as those guys who we know are great players, champions, guys who have done it at the highest level, when they get going, it changes everything. It changes the combinations. It changes, how guys need to play around them. The game gets easier for everyone when your best players are playing well. So I think that's what's going to happen is, the game will start to smooth out for the whole group, as Jordan and Clay in particular, those two really get things rolling.
Getting Poole and Clay on track. Does it mean playing both of them together? Does it mean starting Poole? Does it mean, I don't know what it means, but it's obvious those two guys need to get going. Jordan Poole the other night was just invisible.
I don't get
Took
what
4
happened.
shots, 3 turnovers, 2 points. That's not Jordan Poole like.
What is it like? I know the over dribbling is obvious.
Over dribbling is problem number one.
What do you think it is mentally on the court? Is it teams are gearing on him? Because I think when you go through a playoff run like they did, and teams are at home sitting on their couch and they're watching what the impact of a player is off the bench like that, don't you think you become more of a brand name?
Well, yeah.
That teams want to slow down?
Well, take the Pelicans, for example. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy III are guarding Jordan Poole. Think about the Denver Nuggets. Bones Highland is hounding Jordan Poole. The scouting report now says, hey, JP,
get up
we need to be on him.
Yeah.
Get physical with them, and let's get our number one defender on him. So he's seeing the defenses. He's seeing the number 1, 2 defender on that opposing team. So he's got to get 1, 2, 3 dribble. And he's got to play at a slower pace. As St. Lee said, and I couldn't agree more with St. Lee, he said he's just playing too fast, which means he's overthinking about everything. Yeah. So just slow it down, play a little more composed, and let the game come to you. But he's got to take more than 4 shots.
What about this aspect? And I'm just spitballing here. What about him getting better shots when he plays with Steph Curry and Wiggins out there on the court? Because he's really like the second or third defensive assignment in terms of focal points out there. And I feel like when he's leading his own unit, it feels he's the number one. Now, look, he's going to have to get used to this. I mean, this is, if you want to be a star player, I don't think he's there yet, but if you want to be a star player in the league, you have to be able to overcome every single night you being the focus of a team trying to slow you down. But for the time being, can we overlap some of his minutes with some of those other guys and let him kind of move around with a little more freedom?
I think we see that too. I think we're seeing that, and I think we're going to see more of that moving forward with him playing alongside Steph or Wiggins and getting better shots. But he's got to take the shot that's presented. Sometimes he'll get a wide open shot and he dribbles into a bad shot. Just pull it up. Pull it up and stop over dribbling. So I think he'll get better. And then, of course, Klay Thompson, he's got to nail open threes. But you know what? With that said, it's time for a little Kerr's Corner here on the Morning Roast.
It's time for Kerr's Corner, presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity. Here's Bonte Hill.
All right, Steve Kerr also touched on the question that everybody's been wanting to ask. Is it worth starting Poole over Klay Thompson to get him going? Here was Kerr's answer.
That's not something I've given any thought to. Jordan and Clay are very different players. Jordan's more on the ball, Clay's off the ball. I think with our, when Steph is off the floor, we absolutely have to have Jordan on the floor. Doesn't mean we can't change combinations and rotations to get certain guys on the court together. But Clay is a starter, and that 5-man unit is the very best unit in the league. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to break up that unit. What we really need to do is tighten up the areas that we've been weak in. And if we do that, then I have a lot of confidence that we'll get back on the right track.
All right, that was Steve Kerr there, basically debunking all that, saying that Clay's going to start. And look, we make so much of a big deal about the starters or who's finishing the games.
Yes.
And right now, you need Poole's confidence to finish games alongside Clay, Steph, Draymond, and Andrew Wiggins to get that fast 5 lineup going out there and running teams. That's where we need to get Poole to finish the games. The starts are great, but finishing games have been a problem for the Warriors.
I just think defense is my number one problem right now. Defense to me is the number one thing. And when I heard him say, Clay and JP playing together, it's not clicking right now. Not to say that it can't click. It just feels like it's not clicking right now. And I don't know, man. I don't know what the fix is. I really don't. That's why I was suggesting, forget JP starting. I was suggesting maybe Moody starts, but then you're stuck back with Clay and JP coming off the bench simultaneously together, and that's right now that's clunky.
They played well together last year, though.
I know, but not this year. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well, maybe it's the players around them. Maybe it's the Otto Porter Jr. not providing the spacing. Maybe it's the Gary Payton II now playing the dunker spot and playing defense. So more on that coming up here. It just feels like
the space isn't there.
Space isn't there because of everything else going on with the bench unit.
Yeah.
And we know there's going to be some tinkers with that, some tweaks to that rotation there with Anthony Lamb and Ty Jerome, who all played 4 years. So, all right, we got a lot coming up. Again, star-studded guest list, John Bosa, Mike Tirico, Brad Graham. Your calls, 888-957-9570. What should be the fix for Jordan Poole? If you had to fix one thing about Jordan Poole, what would it be? What would it be as the Warriors host the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight at Chase Center? Should be a fun Friday night before they head up I-80 to go play the Sacramento Kings on Sunday for the second time in 6 games. That's all brought to you by Go to State Lumber, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoToStateLumber.com.
If you run a small business, you need the most from every investment. That's why Comcast Business gives you more, like our new gig speed Wi-Fi, plus unlimited data, all on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for just $49.99 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Ends 12/5/2022. Restrictions apply. Eco bill and auto pay required. New 50 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Find a plan that's right for you at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Someday, you might be with friends in the Bay Area, telling the story of how you navigated these complex times. The market was all over the place, so you reached out to a Merrill advisor, and with their help, charged ahead. And unlike your fishing stories, you won't have to go overboard. Find an advisor at ml.com/bullish.
Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do?
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Bank of America Corp.
Attention! Did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-700-4333. That's 1-800-700-4333. 1-800-700-4333.
Are you interested in new career opportunities in the Bay Area and want to make a difference in your community? The SF Sheriff's Office is looking for people considering a job in law enforcement right now. If you're at least 20 years or older with a high school diploma or equivalent, the SF Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you. Enjoy full benefits, flexible schedules, and opportunities for growth and promotion. For employment announcements and more information, visit sfsheriff.com. That's sfsheriff.com to apply today.
November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday? Before you click, you should call Video Only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out Video Only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson from Utah. After 10 weeks of taking Andro 400, I lost 13 pounds and my waist went from 36 to 33. That was 8 years ago. I continued to take Andro 400 and I've maintained my weight at 172. Gained muscle and energy. I'm 63 now and feel better than I have in 30 years.
Hi, this is Sherry.
My husband started taking Andro 400 a few months ago, and wow, has he ever changed. He's no longer a couch potato, and he actually likes to go out and do things again. Best of all, he lost his gut, and is he looking good. All I have to say about that is...
Andro 400, the natural way to increase your testosterone. Guys, if you'd like to lose your belly fat, gain energy and muscle, and feel like you did years ago, try Andro 400, the safe, effective, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Andro400.com.
Homeowners are choosing the beauty of Milgard Trinsic Vinyl featured at Dolan's. Narrow frames, the contemporary look, the color choices, perfect white and tan, and an array of custom exterior colors. And that's only the beginning. The innovative Smart Touch window locks exceed California's rigorous forced entry codes, plus energy efficiency for comfort. Discover Milgard's vinyl benefits in the Ideas section at dolanlumber.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's. So thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code JOY at checkout. That's harrys.com, code JOY. Enjoy.
Hey, it's Boomer Esiason, and we all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time you need parts for your car, don't call it quits. Go to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Get a cash offer for your car, truck, or SUV today at your local Bay Area Chevy dealers. Selling has never been easier. Just bring it into a Bay Area Chevy dealer, get a free appraisal, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot with no obligation to buy. We buy any make or model, paid off or not. Find your local Chevy dealer at Bay Area Chevrolet Dealers.com.
Now, back to the Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky.
All right, we're giving away Warrior tickets between 7:30 and 7:45. We're going to play a little game of Know Your Show. Know your show. And you'll need to be listening because we'll give you a little more details as we get closer to giving out those tickets. Don't forget, download us on the Odyssey app. And shout out to YouTube, Twitch, and the Xfinity mobile text line. We love you guys on YouTube. The stream is back, and they're all happy. We see the regulars, Mentality, My Family, Tyler, MDK1, all these guys. They're back. Dante Wiley. What up, Dante?
You asked me a question about Jordan Poole before the break, but before we get there, did you see the Mad Dog Russo, Willie May stuff?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Now, let's take people behind the scenes here. I've had a beef with Mad Dog Russo for quite some time. Now, there's two things. I separate the two, all right? Mad Dog Russo, the Giants fan, who I think is a fraud. Okay, right. That's number one. Then number two, the man who's the pioneer in sports radio. All right? They're two different people to me.
Yeah.
The man who's a pioneer in sports radio paved the way for people like you and me to have jobs like this. Mm-hmm. He created the genre.
Mm-hmm.
I have tremendous respect for the road that he paved so that a guy like me could come on here and wake up the city that I love every single day. Like, it means something to me. And I look at someone like him as a founding father of the genre. People don't like the style, whatever. That's fine. He's a founding father of sports talk radio. All right? That doesn't mean that he's infallible, and that doesn't mean that you can't criticize him.
Well, it's also, he's part of the reason why people look at sports talk radio a different way these days.
What do you mean?
They look at a lot of sports talk radio cats as just hot take artists and guys who scream into a microphone and don't really know anything because they haven't played a game. He's part of that. He's become part of that.
I think
like
he's
alongside
evolved,
Cullen. Yeah,
I think he's evolved into that. I'm going more to Mike and the Mad Dog and what they created in New York.
Okay.
That's
Got
more
it.
what I'm getting
Got
at.
it.
Has he devolved into that? I would agree. But to not have respect for what he did is foolish from someone like me,
no doubt.
because I look up to guys like that in terms of the road that they paved. Now, Gary Radich had more of an impact on me as a sports broadcaster than, him and the Razor. Like, those are my two guys. And there's plenty others, you know what I'm saying? Damon's one of them as well, Then there's the Giants fan, Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, who everybody would bring on around Giants time, and they'd have him on. And my whole thing was this, and this is very simple, okay? This is my thought on all this. Been a Giants fan my whole life. I grew up a stone's throw away from Candlestick, all right? You know how much I love baseball. I always thought he was full of crap, that he stayed up till 3 a.m. watching all the games. Dog, you didn't even have satellite back then. They did not even broadcast all the games back then. And he claimed he followed the Giants left and right. No, you didn't. Like, you just didn't. I thought that was fake. And so for him to come out as the voice of Giants fans, that was inauthentic to me. I never bought into that. And he had a great rant. One time. It was a great rant.
It was a great rant.
One of the great all-time rants. At one time, I want to see my team win, and it's beautiful. But forever, and Covey used to get on me at night, I would destroy him. I'm like, no Giants fan. None of my homies wakes up, what does Mad Dog think of our rotation?
Right.
Like, Mad Dog ain't watching my Giants team.
So what's the beef with Mad Dog this time around?
He came out yesterday, and he was talking about the Willie Mays doc, and basically he alluded on the front end, Willie stiffed him for an autograph when he was a kid. All right, whatever. I don't even know if that's true or not. Whatever. That's his particular prerogative. Then went on to say, Willie's not the greatest baseball player of all time, and it starts referencing all these other players, diminishing the arm, diminishing defensive whatever you want to put it, war or whatever means in center field, saying that defense really doesn't matter, it's about hitting. Right? And then saying he can name 15 other better hitters throughout the history of the game. Lists Honus Wagner as one of the people ahead of Willie Mays, even though he didn't see him play. Right? So it's just like, Mad Dog, for you...
So wait. So he basically...
crushed Willie Mays.
Crushed Willie Mays and said he wasn't a top 15 baseball player because he couldn't hit like the rest of the guys he named on the list.
He named Albert Pujols. So let's just put it this way.
Okay.
I love Albert Pujols. He's one of my favorite players of all time. B, if I walked down the street in any city and I said, Albert Pujols or Willie Mays,
they're going to say Willie Mays.
Thank you.
Well, how could he say that Willie Mays is not a good hitter when he hit 660 home runs?
His career batting average is 300.
Yeah. He had over 3,000 hits.
In one of the hardest to hit ballparks in the history of the game.
Yeah. Excuse me. So Mad Dog basically ripped Willie Mays, and he got a lot of flack for that.
My point is this.
He's had a lot of racial undertones lately, too.
Well, so this is where I find him to be a very complicated character. On one end, I respect what he did for the genre, if you will, right? I respect everything that he did to pave the way. On the other hand, I find him to be completely full of crap. And the longer his career has gone on, the more he's actually exposed himself, and he hasn't figured out the proper way to bow out.
So I'm guessing he won't be on the morning roast anytime soon.
Actually, I'd like to have him on and debate him on this, because I think he's full of crap.
I don't want to deal with
Well, that's fine.
He said a lot of bad things. Shut up and dribble, and guys to stay in their lane. I don't want to deal with people like that.
That's fair.
I'm good.
Spadoni, was this not one of my accounts, though, for a long time? I used to destroy Mad Dog at night.
Yeah, you hated him. I didn't get it at first, but now I'm starting to get it.
See?
Yeah,
Remember, everybody said, like, why are you picking on him? And my whole thing was this, like, he's a fake-ass Giants voice. Because people use him like, whoa, that's just how Giants fans feel. I remember I argued with him one night about Barry Bonds. I was like, Mad Dog, how can you tell me, a kid who grew up in the Excelsior, what Barry Bonds means to me? Who the hell are you to speak on our community? Well, I watched every single game. I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. It wasn't even on television every single game until the late 90s.
Hornsby, Ty Cobb, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Williams, Ted Williams, Stan Musial, Hank Aaron, Correa. I guess he meant Cabrera, Miguel Cabrera. And Albert Pujols.
I love Miguel Cabrera.
15 better hitters than Willie Mays, and he said he hadn't scratched the surface. So
Okay.
Whatever, there's a lot of racial undertones there. I want to move on and forget Mad Dog. We wasted too much time on Mad Dog. He's a nobody. He's nobody here. It's a bad take. It's a bad take.
Agreed.
He's terrible.
One last bow
I'm not
on
even
this.
outraged.
No, but one last bow on this, because I know you love Mike and the Mad Dog for what they represented and what they did.
Yeah, but I've heard Mike is a jerk, and we've seen Russo over the last 3 years expose himself.
Yeah.
As being borderline.
Yeah.
It's got some racial undertones out there.
For sure.
So I don't.
Sorry, it just bugs me.
Yeah.
I can't believe the doc comes out and you're going to crush Willie Mays.
Yeah,
Take a lap.
Whatever.
Right.
George at Los Altos. George, let's get back on track here. George, what's happening?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I think of the Jordan thing. Remember how excited we all were about the upcoming season and how James Wiseman was finally going to show us what he had and he was going to be in the second unit, so forth and so on. And I think that's impacted Jordan's game, not having Wiseman there to help set things and give him a safety valve. If he goes to the hole and he gets guarded and he throws a lob and Wiseman gets a dunk. There's no Wiseman now. That's a problem, I believe, for Jordan, number one. Number two, getting called for 3 carries in one game.
Yeah.
I mean, he dribbles one way his whole life. He's into the hezzy and so forth. Now suddenly he's thinking, oh, my God, I got to learn how to dribble all over again.
He got called for one the other night, too, George.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's what I think. But nice catching up, guys.
No, it's a really good point, and I do believe that the carry thing is a little in his head because he was shake and bake all day last year, right? Like any guy who got in front of him, he'd do that hezzy. Where's the hezzy at? Where's the step back
Not
at?
there.
And that's where I think you were asking, like, what's the one thing that Jordan Poole needs to do better? I think it's easy to say defense. For me, it's get your charisma back. Now, if that means confidence, if that means free-flowing style, if that means just shooting yourself back into feeling good, I don't know what that means, but the charismatic character that I saw last year, they really miss his energy.
We saw it a little bit in Detroit a couple Sundays ago where he scored 12 points in 52 seconds and had a monster game, had a 30-burger in that one. And then since then, you play Miami, you play Orlando, you play New Orleans, and of course you play Sacramento on Monday, and he struggled over those last 4 games. It's a little slump right now. I believe Jordan Poole will figure it out. When he's in the gym after the Sacramento game, when Bob Myers is talking to Steiny and Goo, and Bob Myers is saying, well, he was here this morning on an off day. That gives me confidence in Jordan Poole that he will figure it out. Now, the league has adjusted to him. He's got to counter. He's got to adjust back. I think he will be okay. I feel like he will be okay. You look at his last 4 games, though, it has been ugly. 11 points a game, 4.5 assists, shooting 23.5% from the three-point line, 23.5% from the three-point line, 29% from the floor.
What's his free
throw
throw
This guy's not even in the
percentage,
30s, and his free throws is at 81%.
81?
We're talking about a guy who beat Steph Curry last year. This guy is shooting under 30% from 3 and the floor in the last 4 games. Over dribbling, turnovers. You see the 3 balls not hitting. He's 5 of 24 from the 3 ball over the last 4 games. He will be better. He'll be better. I do believe that. Now, they got to figure it out. They got to get him unlocked here. They go over dribbling. Maybe you bring him in a little earlier. Maybe you bring him in a little later. I have no idea how you unlock him. But he is getting teams' best shot from opposing defenders because they know Jordan Poole's one of the only guys who can get to the cup at will against defenses. His speed, his athleticism on a team that's not that athletic, they need him. But other teams know that.
I've been thinking a lot about him playing with the second unit, and I was thinking of, like, what are some of my favorite Jordan Poole plays last year? And a lot of it is him driving to the cup or him stepping back and hitting threes. The other element that is just missing from his game, movement off ball, where someone else is passing to him. And I do believe that second unit, one of the underrated things as we scream from the high heavens about defense, which is totally fair. No one's passing him the ball and no one's screen setting away from the ball. And so he's not getting those looks. Remember when the ball would kind of kick around and then here comes Jordan flying off of a screen and catch and shoot? Boy, it'd be nice to get him some catch and shoot threes where he doesn't even have to dribble.
Yeah. Well, that's playing with Stephen Curry, right? Or that's playing with a backup point guard.
But even Bielitsa got him a couple of good looks. Like, I just don't know if they have the person.
Bielitsa was an underrated passer.
Are you joking or are you being serious?
No, he was an underrated passer.
He was. I thought he was a good passer, you know? But also I also thought that, like, Otto Porter would set good screens and also help space the floor for him a little better. And I don't know, they need to get him going somehow. To me, I think if he can unlock himself, a lot of other chips are going to fall in place.
No doubt. I think so too. And then you got the Klay Thompson component. I think it's just Pacers for Klay Thompson. Jamo Malalele have joined Willard and Dibbs, what was that, Wednesday. He basically said, look, 10 to 15 games in, we're at game 12 now. Klay's missed 2 of the games. He believes Clay will work off the rust within that 10 to 15 game range. So we're right there at 10 games for Clay. I think we will. He's getting open looks. They're not falling. Some of them are short. Maybe he needs to take more mid-range games or mid-range shots.
Yeah, one dribble in.
One dribble in, pull up, one dribble, pull up, boom. 20 feet, 18 feet, 15 feet, and he'll get going. I'm not worried too much about Clay. Defensively, we know at this point he's not guarding Donovan Mitchell. He's not guarding Damian Lillard. He's not guarding James Harden. He's not guarding the quick guards, the Kyrie Irvings. He's got to guard more 3s, 4s, and maybe even 5s because of that great lower body strength that he has. The foot speed's not there. The lateral movement not there right now. At times, he could defend at a high level. We saw it against Devin Booker at times in that third quarter. But consistently, he's not going to be that defender again. And that's okay. Got Wiggins. Curry's going to have to step up defensively. Other guys going to have to step up defensively. Jordan Poole, for crying out loud, has to step up defensively.
Yeah, they need a win tonight.
It's a big game.
This is a really big game. And I think that you win tonight, that's 2 games in a row. You start to feel good. You close that gap on getting closer to 500. And the form is going to fall into place. Winning is a great deodorant right now. Even if they're not defending at a high level, find a way to win the game and make people feel better. And, I don't know if Steph can sustain the run that he's on right now, B. I mean, he's going to have a bad night at some point.
8 30-point nights in 10 games for Steph Curry.
It's asking a lot for an early season run,
He's on fire right now, no doubt.
I know, and this one feels big tonight. I'm worried.
Don't be worried. Don't do that.
I know.
Don't be worried. We're 11 games in.
I know, but B.
Don't be worried. Don't be worried.
They can't be under 500 to end the month of November.
They might. They just might. They just might. I mean, they just might. No need to be worried, though.
So if they're under 500 around Christmas, you're not worried?
If they're 500 around Christmas, that's when you start looking at trades. That's when you start looking, okay, we need to fix something up. We need to switch something up. We need to tinker. And I'm not talking about with one of the big boys. It's probably with the bench. But this is a championship team. And I wouldn't be worried if they were the 6th seed in the West. I would not be worried because I know I got Steph. I know I got Draymond, who, by the way, is playing at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing at a high level right now. I know I got Andrew Wiggins, who got that postseason experience last year. So I would be concerned around the All-Star break because then I would think to myself, all right, it's time to make a move. Mm-hmm. We've seen this for a couple months now. It's not working. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. But I'm not panicking right now. It's November 11th.
I understand that. Last year, just to your point about the 6th seed, the Denver Nuggets were 48-34.
Mm-hmm.
That was the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
48-34. Now, to give you some perspective, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Clippers, and then Spurs. Spurs were 34-48 as the 10th seed. Right? That's the play-in status.
Right.
That's the bottom of it. The top end of it is 46-36.
Yep.
Okay, that's 10 games over 500.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at this team right now, and they're 3 games under.
3 games under, 4-7.
I mean, you're looking at, you got to have at least, 45 to 50 wins?
45 to 50.
They're going to have to go on a pretty nice tear here.
Yeah, they do what the Celtics did last year. They started off very slow.
So I'm looking at the Celtics here, and the Celtics ended up winning 51 games last year.
They started off very slow.
Yeah.
When the Warriors played them in early January, remember, they were under 500.
Mm-hmm.
They had the players-only meeting. They had a team meeting. Next thing you know, they went on one.
That is true, but I look at their 6th seed, and then obviously they were a little more stacked at the bottom. They weren't top-heavy. Same thing. Their 6th seed, 46-36.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at somewhere around 46, 50 games. 45, 50 games that you got to win to get into that 6th seed. They're going to have to go on a nice little run here.
But I'm looking at other teams like the Mavericks last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're 6-5.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Wizards last night.
Yes.
Is Portland really going to stay up there?
No, I don't believe
I smell fraudulence from the Portland Trailblazers. Now, Utah's going to be a tough. They're playing well as a team.
Well, the thing I think we underrated with Utah is I look at them and how they're constructed.
Right.
There's a lot of guys that have been on 2-3 teams that are out to prove something this year.
Prove something, and they play good team ball.
I don't believe for them in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely not. You need a star player.
But for right now, they're out to prove something. Lauri Markkanen is playing at an all-star level, 23 points a game.
He is. Let's go to Richie Rich. Richie Rich in Livermore. Richie Rich, what's happening on this Friday?
What's up, fella? Richie Rich. I just got a quick story for you guys, real quick. Check it out, Shaz. So, homeboy said he was kind of bitter at Willie Mays for no autograph, right? So, 1999, 1999, right? My best friend's neighbor is Julian Tavares. Remember, relief pitcher for the Giants?
Oh, yeah, Julian Tavares. He used to always hit people.
Yeah, but Benito and him used to call each other Scarface.
Yeah, he looked like Freddy Krueger.
Oh, that's it. He looked like Freddy Krueger. So from Dominican Republic. So my best friend, he's his neighbor, right there. I grew up in San Mateo, right there off of Hillsdale Boulevard, right before the line of Foster City. So anyhow, we go to he takes us to the games with him, right? We're in 7th grade. We're going to Burrell Middle School. So we're going to the games with him and his hot wife. Check it out. So we go to a game. Bonds hits 2 jacks, right? And he'd give us balls to get autographed all the time after the game. We'd be in the locker room with them. So we're sitting there excited thinking, all right, we're going to get this guy's autograph finally. And he's walking out. You remember Candlestick Park on the west side? Their locker room went directly out to the parking lot where the player vehicles were.
Yep.
So we kind of got kicked out the locker room that day because we were like trying Julian's jacket on and whatnot, and they didn't like it. But anyhow, Bonds is coming out. I hand him the ball, sign it. And he looks at me and just walks past me and just dogs me out, right? And I'm like, oh, my God, shattered my heart. Well, here comes Dusty Baker, about to get into his Durango, and he looks at me and goes, here you go, kid. Takes the ball and signs it right there for me and just totally brought me back to life. It was awesome, dude. And
Dusty.
I just remember that story because Homeboy was bitter about Willie, and I never was bitter about Bonds. I just figured these guys always got to deal with this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But a story that I'll never forget, man. That year, 99, as a kid, I probably went to about 20 games with Tavares in his car, and it was the most awesomest thing ever, man.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Guys, hey,
do you remember? I was going to ask you. Do you remember?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you remember when you went to Candlestick? They had this rewards card, and you'd slide the rewards card, and then you'd go to one of their little tables, like the booths, the kiosks, and you'd get something based on how many games you went to. Remember that?
You went to? Yeah, I do, man. Absolutely. Those are the days, let me tell you.
Yeah, they really were. I remember that. I got towels. I had, remember those little, you turn them upside down. I think they do them now in ice cream bowls, but you get the little helmet that they throw nachos into.
Yeah, the helmet.
They give away all kinds of cool stuff like that.
Yeah, ice cream, nachos, everything. Look, the autograph thing, where people feel like they get stiffed and they get angry and they have a grudge against the player forever. I never got that. Because, the part where you're angry because you didn't get an autograph. You know how many times I've been stiff? Hey, can you sign my ball? I realize they're pro ballers. They're busy, even as a kid. I remember waiting in the parking lot in Candlestick Park. Barry Bonds zoomed past me. I didn't care. I thought it was actually kind of cool. I was like, damn, that's Barry right there. I was just happy to see him. Don Baylor one time pulled over side of baseball for me in that parking lot. Robbie Thompson. But outside of that, when people get angry about getting stiff for an autograph, I look at it from the other ways. These players have so many demands. Like I see Steph Curry. We saw the Jordan doc with all the media and everybody following him. You got to do that all day long. Sometimes you want a break. Sometimes we leave NBC and there's people waiting for Mully. And Mully would sit there and sign every single autograph. But that gets exhausting.
Yes.
But for the fact that one person, he stiffed me to sign my, get over it.
Well, I guess the way I would put it is this. The new, sign my autograph is the selfie, right? That's what people want. They want the selfie nowadays or whatever, the photo op with someone. I've always been a big believer in, I don't really like the autograph thing. I like the moment. Shake someone's hand.
Yeah.
Hey, you meant a lot to me for X, Y, and Z reasons. Thank you for the memories. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the moment. That's the way I was kind of brought up. The autograph was I don't really get it. You got a name on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I don't. And you're
ball.
mad. You're mad if he doesn't sign it. That's kind of weak.
Here's the other part of that is that 9 times out of 10, they'll send the little kid there, and it's really for the dad, so the dad could sell it on eBay or whatever. That's the part that I think is really weak.
That is weak.
But I know there are people out there that are they like to collect and they like to get certain things with people's autographs on them or whatever.
Oh my God, you just saw my ball. I hope you go 5 for 25 the next game.
Well, that's ridiculous.
That to me is weak. And that's where Mad Dog's saying, well, I am mad he stiffed me for the autograph. We just saw Willie Mays playing stickball with kids and taking them to go get ice cream. Relax, dude. Relax. Russo, you're in your 60s. You're still holding a grudge for that? Jeez. All right. More coming up on the roast. John Bosa is going to join us here at the Bosa Bowl on Sunday. Although we're only going to see one half of the Bosa Bowl. Nick Bosa right now with 8.5 sacks. 8.5 sacks. Niners have 9 games left. Can he get to 20? Is it possible he gets to 20?
That was my suggestion earlier this year.
I know it was. That's why I threw it out there. You still believe he could get to 20? 9 games left.
He's got to stay healthy.
8.5. That would be 11.5. 11.5 sacks the rest of the way in 9 games.
I love when we do math on this show.
Yeah, no, I'm not even a math major, but boop, nailed that one. John Bosa coming up, the father of Nick and Joey Bosa. That's coming up, brought to you by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises, and tune in to Warriors Live at 6 p.m. this evening at on 95.7 The Game, presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi, unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity.
Black Friday is coming, and that's the smart time to shop for a top-rated TV from Samsung, LG, or Sony. But why wait? You can get those Black Friday TV deals right now at Video Only, and then enjoy Thanksgiving with your new TV. Still want to wait? Then how about better than Black Friday deals? The top-rated TVs at stupid low prices. Check out Video Only now, before the rush, or you'll be sorry.
Salute our veterans and wrap up the Bay Area hot rodding season in style at America's favorite car show. It's the Good Guys 32nd Autumn Get-Together, and it's all happening this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. See over 2,500 of the Bay Area's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trucks of all years on display. Plus, don't miss Good Guys CPP Autocross Series racing action featuring the Fall Shootout. Our Veterans Day weekend celebrations include our Vets for Vets Parade and so much more. It's all going down this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Holiday Prep event. Here to help you host the season with offers, in-store workshops, and more.
Oh, great. I may have invited the whole neighborhood for the holidays.
Don't worry, you can do this. To start, IKEA family members save 20% on Venturfent Christmas tree decor and gift wrap.
You are my hero.
Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/holiday prep to get ready and save. Offer valid 11/9 to 11/23/22. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. Restrictions apply.
Universal Studios Hollywood is where the holidays come together. We've tested it. Festive food with refreshing Coca-Cola. Family, friends, and fa-la-la. Dazzling lights cranked up to maximum merriment. The Grinch and his dog Max stealing your tree. All the science adds up. It's the awesomest celebration of the season. Save $20 on a Coca-Cola 2-day general admission ticket. Offer ends 12/14/22. Restrictions apply. Details at universalstudioshollywood.com/Coke offer.
Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Catch Cuomo weeknights on News Nation at 5 and 8 p.m. Pacific. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnationnow.com/join us.
Attention. Did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-700-4333. That's 1-800-700-4333. 1-800-700-4333.
Today's Throwback Thought is brought to you by Kentucky Fried Chicken. Let's take some callers. Tony from Houston. Any throwbacks for us?
Yeah, hi. I remember when you could get a whole meal for just $6. But now?
You still can with KFC's 2-piece drum and thigh combo. Crispy chicken, mashed potatoes, a biscuit, and a drink for just $6.
Is this an ad?
Thanks, Tony. Order KFC's 2-piece drum and thigh combo on the KFC app for just $6. That's finger licking good. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Tax extra.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you'll find top brand kitchen appliances with innovative features that can do more, so your holidays can be more. Ovens with built-in air fryers for baking the perfect cookies. Dishwashers with smart tech to clean everything from bakeware to festive mugs. And high-capacity refrigerators to keep leftovers fresh. Shop Black Friday savings and get up to 30% off, plus instantly save up to $750 on select GE kitchen packages at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Offer valid November 2nd through November 30th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Now, back to the Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky.
I didn't know this. Real quick, Wakanda Forever just got released. Everybody's going to see it. I need to go see it. Jonathan Kuminga took a bunch of inner city youth in Oakland to the movies last night to go see Wakanda Forever. That's pretty cool. Saw Clay at Kip Academy the other day in Hunters Point.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga taking a bunch of kids to go see Black Panther.
Kip Bayview Academy. I wonder if they're gonna the new gym. I wonder if they're gonna host games for CYL because we play them from time to time in our leagues. And so it was really cool to see Clay do that. The kids went crazy.
And Jonathan Kuminga taking the kids last night to go see Wakanda Forever. That's pretty cool.
Really cool.
That is pretty cool. By the way, we're gonna give away some tickets. Know your show. So we're gonna interview John Bosa in moments. The father of Joey and Nick Bosa.
Okay.
And you got the sounder ready, Spadoni? All right, when you hear this sounder, Curry! You call in to the contest line, and we're going to ask you a question about knowing that show. And you have to answer a question about the interview with John Bosa. And you will be off to see the Dubs and Clippers November 23rd at Chase Center. Again, we're giving away Warrior tickets today. Win tickets to see the Dubs play the Clippers Wednesday, November 23rd at Chase Center. Tune in for our chat with John Bosa at 7:20 and listen carefully. Because after we get off the phone with John, when you hear this sounder, Curry! Be the fifth caller on the contest line, 415-951-2386, and answer a question about the interview with John Bosa. And you will be off to see the Dubs and the Clippers Wednesday, November 23rd at Chase Center. That'll be a big-time game. Big-time game. Paul George and the Clippers for the first time this season. So, John Bosa and Nick Bosa. So, you were saying 20 sacks for Nick Bosa. 20 sacks. DPOI. Best defensive player. Now, he got hurt, was derailed the season a little bit, but we saw some of that pass rush against the LA Rams, and I think he's getting healthier and healthier. Micah Parsons is up there. Probably that's the only other guy I could think of defensively. Well, heck, Hufanga maybe. Sauce Gardner's been really good.
Sauce Gardner's getting a lot of love right now.
Quentin Williams.
Yeah, Quinnen Williams, absolutely. I mean, that entire New York Jets defense. But I want to ask John Bosa about the weightlifting program for the kids. Maybe help your boy over here get a little more ripped.
I don't think you can roll with the Bosas, man.
No, I do not think so.
Let's bring in Papa Bosa.
Think so.
Let's bring in Papa Bosa, the father of Nick and Joey, and a former NFL player himself down in Miami for the Dolphins, playing alongside Dan Marino, and they are in the business of sacking quarterbacks. John, it's good to have you back on the Morning Roast again. Joe Shasky, the Butcher, Bonte Hill, as we get ready for the Bosa Bowl, although Joey is still dealing with that groin injury. First of all, good morning to you, John, and how's Joey doing as we get ready for Chargers and Niners?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. Joey is actually doing fantastic. He's in, I think, week 6 now of an 8 to 10 week rehab, so no setbacks. He's feeling great, and it's actually unfortunately, it's a blessing in disguise because he had a lot of damage on the left side, and his injury initially was on the right. But when they went in there, they were able to fix both sides, so he'll be good as new.
No doubt. The Chargers are 5-3, looking to make a run in the AFC. The Niners, of course, 4-4. They just picked up Christian McCaffrey, and his defense is hubbing. So even though Joey might not be playing, how cool is it for you and the family to see both Bosas on the field at the same time Sunday Night Football this coming up at Levi Stadium?
Well, it's certainly special. It would have been a lot more special for me to root, on the defensive side of the ball the whole game, and that's it. But I'm gonna stay neutral and wear white and all white or all black and just root for the defenses. But it's a really important game for both teams.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, we found an interesting nugget. One of our producers here, he says, the Bosa family is a half sack away from reaching 100 sacks as a family. That would be the 6th family in NFL history. I'm just going to name a couple of them: the Watts, the Matthews, the Longs, the Randalls. I mean, that's exclusive company. I think you guys can be at the top of this list when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I had no idea those numbers, but I know that will be probably a goal for Joe alone. Nick's right on his heels, and it's obviously I'm super proud of what they've accomplished. And unfortunate, injuries happen, and unfortunately, Joe won't be out there, but certainly a proud moment.
How are the two boys different in terms of their pass rushing skills or what they bring to a football field between the two of them? Because it feels like Nick, more set the edge guy. It feels like Joey's a little more upright. Both explosive, just beasts. But how would you describe their games being different?
Well, I think, obviously Nick has benefited from being behind Joe and getting some incredible coaching as a young player. He sat in on Larry Johnson meetings when he was in high school, and Joey was at Ohio State. So he obviously got a lot of extra coaching that Joey didn't get. But the difference, I think, is Joey is a little bit more technical, and not by much, but Joey definitely has the hand technique down to a science, and Nick is a little more powerful. I think being two inches shorter is actually, I think, a little bit of a advantage for Nick, because he can get under guys, and he's always played with incredible leverage. So I think Nick has a little bit more power, and Joey is a little bit more of a technician.
We're talking to John Bosa, the father of Nick and Joey Bosa. Of course, the Bosa Bowl, one half of the Bosa Bowl will be out there. Nick's going to play. Of course, he had a groin injury earlier this season. Joey's out with the groin injury, so he'll be back later in the year for the Chargers, but the family will be out here in neutral colors. No jerseys, just neutral colors at Levi Stadium for Sunday Night Football. You talked about how important this game is, and Nick Bosa, I thought, was starting off this campaign as a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Now, I know recently, I think it was you that said, he's not worried about that. He's worried about winning. But you look at the 8.5 sacks and the impact that he has on a game-by-game basis. How much better can Nick get? Because right now it feels like he's already at the top of the mountain when it comes to pass rushers.
Oh, I don't think he feels that way. Just the way that he attacked this bye week. He didn't go anywhere. He stayed there. He rehabbed any little lingering soreness or anything. He was training the whole time, and in the training room, he's a big hot tub, cold tub kid and massage. So he always feels he's got things to improve on, and I think that's what makes a great player great. Those guys always, all the great players think that they can improve in some manner. The fact of the matter is, Nick is not focused. And Nick's focused on winning football. And loving the 49ers, love his teammates, and winning. I, as a dad, take the disrespect a little bit more personal because, if obviously the guys with stars on their helmets get a lot more recognition, I guess. But I think Nick's Defensive Player of the Year, and that's for me to worry about. And what's great about Nick is he doesn't care. He wants to play. Yeah, and win.
We're hoping to get a holding call this Sunday for crying out loud, right? I mean, Nick seems to never get a holding call.
Don't even start with me on that. Look, can they find a father? I don't know.
No, I think you're good. I think you're good, John. I think you're good. Don't dip into that NFL pitching, all right? I got to ask you about the personalities because Joey we saw on Hard Knocks a couple years ago, and I was like, He's kind of a fun dude.
Yeah.
He's got a personality, even though they look so quiet. And then Nick, we've gotten to know Nick a little bit since he's been here in San Francisco. And every time he gets a quote, I get a bit of a chuckle. They've got underrated personalities. Where does that come from? Does that come from you or your lovely wife?
I'm not sure. I mean, they're definitely very quiet off the field, and they've always had a very, they keep to themselves, very quiet. But Nick is brutally honest. Within that subtle humor and kind of monotone, he speaks the truth, and he gives a lot of thought to what he says. And Joey has always been a little bit of he's a little goofier. Joe's a little goofier, but obviously just very serious about football, and that's really their focus. But Nick takes a lot of time, preparing for when he speaks to. He's obviously the typical leader by example.
Yeah.
But when he has a chance to speak to the team, he gives a lot of thought to it and really wants to speak from the heart and just speak to the love of his teammates, which I think is amazing.
What did you think when they made the trade for Christian McCaffrey?
Well, I was surprised and thrilled. I don't know a lot about the kid. Obviously, I know how great he was and had been hampered a little bit by injury, but just him in that offense with Debo and Brandon and George, just all the weapons. He's just a fantastic kid and a fantastic player, and just watching him, the feel that he has, both in the pass game and then hitting the hole. He's a special kid. Special player, and obviously thrilled to have him added.
John Bosa here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game. Doesn't it feel like, we could talk about the Chargers in a second, but it feels like the Niners at 4-4, getting that big win against the Rams a couple weeks ago down at SoFi Stadium. It feels like this team is about to start humming offensively. We know where they're at defensively. It feels like this team is primed to make a run. And when you look at the NFC, it's up for grabs. And who would want to play the 49ers, John? I know you're a little biased there, but they have the formula.
And I agree. And really, and Nick said it last time he spoke, it's really one day at a time. And that's his philosophy. And I think the one thing that people underestimated is the amount of time that Jimmy would take to kind of get back into the swing of things. The guy really didn't do a lot in preseason, obviously, concentrating on getting his arm and shoulder right. So I think that was a little, I don't think people took into consideration the time that it might take for him to get back in, to get with his receivers and get back into a slightly different game plan. But now with the weapons they have, obviously the defense, I'm just heartbroken about Verrett. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And Nick told me, and his voice was cracking. It's just such a horrible thing. Obviously he would have been a great addition in the back end, but I agree with you. I mean, the Niners have in the last few years have kind of stumbled out of the blocks a little bit for different reasons, but I do feel that they're kind of getting into the swing, and the defense is still, if they get Eric back and some guys back, it's a dangerous defense, and obviously the offense has the weapons, so it's super exciting.
Yeah, and they've added some young players, it feels like, to the mix that are, obviously, Hufanga's had an unbelievable impact throughout the first 8 games of the season, and then Drake Jackson on the edge at times has been very, very productive. It feels like they're starting to really build a young unit together for the future, and your son and Fred Warner are the centerpieces of that defense.
Absolutely, and Fred is, that linebacker crew, when those three are healthy, that's, to me, the best 3 linebackers in the league as a unit. And obviously, Kinlaw is having some issues. He's another potentially great young player. I think Drake is coming along. He has some things to learn, but obviously just an incredibly talented a player. So there's and it's funny now talking about Nick being a veteran, he's still my little Nick, but with him and Fred, and then obviously the pieces they have and the young kids, and it's just, it's a really, on all 3 levels, they have the talent. Obviously, you have to weather the storm, losing some guys here and there, but that's what you do in the NFL. The next guy steps up, and I know that's a common saying, next man up, but sadly, that's really what it's got to be. And so the DBs have to step up.
You know, John, you've told us about their childhood, the boys growing up, all the different steps along the way, all the different sports that they've played. What does Nick do for fun on the side? Is he like a video gamer? Does he watch Star Wars? Is he into Netflix, true crime docs? Like, what does he do in his off time that's not football related?
John, real quick, John, if you say he loves Star Wars, just lie about it, because then my co-host will get giddy over it.
I'm not going to. No, he's a big reader.
Oh, really?
He reads a lot of books. He loves to read history. He hands the books to me, and the last book he handed to me was about the Donner Party, about the people going over the Sierra Nevadas and the nightmare that they ran into. He did buy a boat in the last off season, which is parked behind my house, and I have to keep it maintained for him, which is awfully convenient. So he loves the water. He is a bit of a gamer, but not, Joey's a little bit more, I think, did a little bit more gaming than Nick. But Nick really, and I know it sounds crazy, but he is just singularly focused on training and getting better. And in the off season, that's what he does. And in the season, obviously, that's what he does. But yeah, they enjoy the water. They enjoy the South Florida lifestyle in the off season. And other than that, he's got his chef cooking the proper meals, and he's reading a book.
There you go. I love that. John Bosa here. We got a couple more for John Bosa, the father of Nick and Joey Bosa. One, we got a question from YouTube Danker. I wonder what Papa Bosa thinks Drake should work on. Drake Jackson. Shasky brought up Drake Jackson. What do you think he should work on, the rookie out of USC who's playing alongside your son, Nick?
I wouldn't be able to say really a lot other than what Nick has said. And it's his physical, he's a physical freak. He's bendy. He's got great technique. I think playing a little bit lower and just getting the feel for what NFL offensive linemen are trying to do to you are the only things that I've heard Nick mention. But as far as having all the tools, and not to brag about my sons, but they did come into the league with a surprisingly toolbox that they were ready to go at the NFL level. And some of these guys who may take a tiny bit longer to develop, he has all the tools, and I think he just has to get the feel for what O-linemen are doing to him and maybe work a little bit more on technique. But Nick's excited and really loves him.
It's interesting. You've referenced his body so many times, and when we went to practice, I'm standing there. No, I'm serious. This is a field of Adonises, and your son is head and shoulders just chiseled, and it's impossible to not get this image out of my head. When did you start to dedicate, or when did the boys start to dedicate themselves to weightlifting and nutrition and just keeping their body intact? Because it clearly is not something that they just started doing in their teens. It feels like they've been doing it their entire life.
Well, no, they haven't actually. And I mean, they were always weightlifting in high school, and then in college they really didn't get. They were training hard. But the jump when Joe went to the Chargers and now got his trainer Todd Rice, that's really when a lot of the training and the nutrition changed. And Joey has a lot of aches and pains from overlifting when he was in high school. They were still a little bit more into the powerlifting type workouts. Whereas if you watched my sons work out on the field in the off season, and I didn't tell you what sport they were playing, they train like sprinters. So it's all about speed, and for about 80% of the session, it's stretching, and then it's sprinting. It's get off, it's agility, it's all speed related. So, other than the fact that they're, 260, they literally look like they're training for sprinting. And then Nick, with the nutrition, has really changed when he saw the changes when Joey got a chef, and when they got into the league and were able to really concentrate on nutrition. That's what's kind of pushed Nick over as far as body fat and strength and speed. So it was really, for Joe, it was about 7 years ago, and Nick is really over the last 4 years taking it to that next level.
All right, John Bosa, last one before we get out here. We have a producer named Evan Giddings on our midday shows, and he's a diehard Charger fan. I got to ask you, because I watch Charger games from afar. We all do. they seem like they're in games that comes down to the final play every single week. How does your heart handle watching Charger games, for crying out loud, John?
Well, it's been, and if you go back to when Joey was with the previous coaches, they lost all those close games. I mean, there were years where they lost 6 or 7 one-score games, and they were losing in the last field goal. They'd miss a field goal. I mean, it was painful. And it was hard because I knew how much Joey loves winning and loved his teammates, and it just wasn't happening. And so it's a little easier now because they are able to pull those games out at the end. But now with such a special talent at quarterback and a really a loaded roster, they're making it a tad bit easier for me to watch. Not that much, but a little bit better.
All right, WWE style tag team match: TJ and his brother JJ Watt versus Nick and Joey Bosa. Who's winning and why?
Oh, come on. I mean, seriously.
Yes.
I mean, JJ, I mean, if you're talking about right now, JJ's past his prime, but Joey said JJ, and no one's handling Nick. No one's handling Nick.
Are you taking on their dad?
What's that?
Are you taking on their dad?
No competition.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
I've talked to him before. I'll take him on.
Yeah, come on. You see, John is still ripped. We got your photo up on YouTube right now, and your jawline is still perfect. Hey, John. Hey, this is always a lot of fun when we get to
really
talk to you, man.
it.
We hope they meet up in bigger stakes, hopefully later this season.
Yes.
Chargers 5-3, Niners 4-4. Look, it's a big time game, but hopefully you have a lot of fun back in the Bay Area coming out to this game, man. We hope to see you Sunday.
Hey, it's always great to speak to you guys, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, come
Anytime.
on. We love watching your son play. You're a good man.
Awesome.
Thank
Good
you.
talking to you guys.
Yep.
John Bosa,
That
the
was
father
great.
of Nick and Joey Bosa. He's funny. He's
great.
hilarious. He knows his football, too. I
Oh,
mean,
my
he played
God.
it. I mean,
Of course.
The technical stuff, the speed, the workouts.
Were you surprised about the nutrition and the weightlifting and stuff?
No, I mean, we walked on the field together 2 training camps ago, and the guy didn't have a shredded body fat.
I
was like, hey, Big Bear, what's up? Hey, bro. And he's working out by himself,
Yes.
and it's like, all right, the team's on the other field. Nick's just doing sprints by himself. You know what, Nick? You do what you do. All right? I'll just see you on Sundays with number 97, and you do what you do. You go hunt quarterbacks. You go stop the run. The guy is shredded.
And
so
then,
you don't just eat Taco Bell being that shredded.
No, that's not my point. But like he said, they were into powerlifting, which is interesting, right? And then you hear him talking about Joey has some aches and pains from powerlifting too early back in the day, and now they're into more. You would think they're training like sprinters.
Right.
When you see Nick's legs up close and personal, they are tree trunks. Like his thighs and his it's unbelievable the size of this guy's legs. And then you watch the get off at practice when he's in the position
on the sleds.
He doesn't take a bad rep.
No, he doesn't. He hates getting beat. He goes back into the drill to make sure he wins the drill. Were you shocked at him reading books?
Oh, that surprised me.
Yeah, why is that surprising?
Well, I was thinking like Dr. Seuss books, quite honestly.
Come on, man.
It's a joke.
Guy went to Ohio State, man. Come on, you can't be no dummy guy
I don't
there.
read any books. I mean, I'm not here to pretend. I'm audio booked out. Loveman, when we stood up next to him, what was the first thing that you noticed from Nick Bosa?
Oh, if you the minute you get within 20 feet of Nick Bosa, if you're not noticing the quads, you're doing it wrong. Those things are bigger than my head. They're huge.
I'm telling you,
Sam says to me, Sam, what was that drop? Sam says to me, oh my God, look at his legs. And I was like, yes, it's unbelievable. And we're standing behind all the players. He's the only one with full ripped muscles coming out of the sides of his abs.
I mean, at the start of training camp.
He's unbelievable. And then you get around Tim Ryan because he's pretend. He stands next to the players. You think he's one of the players. He goes, he's never taken a bad rep in the 5 years that I've been here.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. He really hasn't. Every rep I've seen him take, it's like his rookie year when he hit the practice field and they're scrimmaging. He almost wrecked a scrimmage. Jimmy couldn't get a pass off.
Wow.
I mean, the guy was in the backfield. This is before Trent Williams came.
Yeah.
It was Joe Staley.
Wow.
Joe Staley was having his hands full. Was like, I can't block this guy. We need a double. He was wrecking the scrimmage. So that's who Nick Bosa is. And you heard the subtle shot that John Bosa took at Michael Parsons, just because you got a star to help you get a little attention.
Come on.
You get a little more attention.
I love
that was pretty good. I think we're on a collision course for some Niners-Cowboys playoff games.
I'm here for it.
How fun was that last year?
It was amazing.
Are you going to fly out to Jerry's World with me?
Absolutely.
Come on. Don't punk out on me, man.
Absolutely.
Don't punk out on me.
Absolutely.
All right. Help me. All right. We're giving away some tickets here Tickets to see the Dubs play the Clippers on Wednesday, November 23rd at Chase Center. Tune in for our chat with we just had our chat with John Bosa. So here's the question. Here's the question for the contest.
Okay.
Hit the sounder, Spinoni.
Curry!
When he watches a game on Sunday night, what did John Bosa say he will wear? That is the question. When he watches a game on Sunday night, what did John Bosa say he would wear Sunday at Levi Stadium? That is the question. Be the fifth caller right now to call 415-951-2386. That's 415-951-2386. And you, my friend, have tickets to go see the L.A. Clippers Wednesday, November 23rd at Chase Center and get your Golden State Warriors. Again, when he watches the game on Sunday night, what did John Bosa say he would wear? Don't give the answer away, Shasky. Don't give it away. We expect the Bosa to have a big game against Herbert, and he needs to. Because Justin Herbert, a lot of people put him up in that category with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. I was like, whoa. What are we doing here? He's good. But whoa. Let's relax a little bit.
Let's call it what it is. We have crowned him way too soon to be in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. He throws a beautiful ball. He looks the part. He plays the part. I don't think they win enough. To me, like if that's boils down to it, and you can blame coaching, and I'm here for that because it's not all on the quarterback. I don't even think the majority of it's on the quarterback. They've been injured like crazy, but to put him anywhere near the even Joe Burrow category at this point right now, like Joe Burrow has done things in this league off that one run last year that Herbert has yet to do. Now he has opportunities to continue to get into the playoffs and try to have moments like that, but like. He hasn't hit the level of some of these other quarterbacks. Mahomes is at the top. Even Josh Allen is way below Patrick Mahomes in terms of accomplishments. And I love Josh Allen. But like Bonte, Mahomes is the gold standard for quarterbacks right now.
No doubt. But we're going to see Herbert on Sunday. And I know the Chargers have a slew of injuries. We don't know if Keenan Allen's playing. Mike Williams is out. Joey Bosa's out.
The Keenan Allen thing's interesting because he says he was going to come back. Then he said he got hurt. And then
hamstring.
Yeah.
Seeing when it happened. Did it happen against the Raiders? He did first week of the season, which is why if you play fantasy football, you stay away from Keenan Allen because of those nicks and those aches and bruises and all that stuff. He pulls hamstring, it feels like every single year. But so Justin doesn't have that, but he does have Austin Eckler. And I think Austin Eckler is the best running back nobody talks about. You heard Baldy talk about him earlier this year since the start of 2021. He's got 30 touchdowns. So what? 30 touchdowns.
He's a great player. If you play fantasy, you know how good he is.
3 down back. Yeah. But I think a lot of people that watch football, he's kind of understated. You never see interviews with Austin Eckler. He's a small guy. But this guy, he's like, dare I say, Brian Westbrook?
That's a good call. I like that. That's like a really good call.
Screen game, catching passes out the backfield. He almost made a great play last week, but his elbow was down where he spinned off a defender from Atlanta. I thought it was a 50-yard touchdown.
He got rolled over, essentially. I think he falls into this category where we assume he's like Darren Sproles.
Right.
When he's much, much better than that. Right? I think Darren Sproles, when we think of like Charger scat backs throwing up tons of yardage in fantasy, and are they really that good? He's so much thicker and so much more of a bowling ball than that guy is. I think he's tougher. He's a weapon. Why we don't talk about him like Alvin Kamara is beyond me.
Yeah, he's legit. This guy is special. And Fred Warner Jr. is going to have his handful. Do we know if Drake Greenlaw is going to be back at all? Drake Greenlaw, he's out with a calf injury.
He was back at practice. I saw some of the beat writers saying that he was back at practice earlier in the week, but I don't have an update for you.
Could use him this week in his speed against Austin Eckler. Because Austin Eckler's a TD machine. He's a TD. He's got a magnet for the end zone, a nose for the end zone. This guy's a 3-down back, and he is Justin Herbert's favorite target, especially right now. Now, you also have Gerald Everett at tight end. They've got a slew of tight ends. Parham's a big dude. They got big dudes who are like 6'5", 6'6". DeAndre Carter, not a bad receiver coming over from the CFL.
Not bad.
5 big catches last week. So this game, the Chargers. What we know about the Chargers, they're always in these entertaining, thrilling, heartbreaking games. They never get blown out, but they never blow anybody out. You know what I'm saying?
No. And they will go for it on 4th down.
We do know that. Brandon Staley, 40-yard line, we're going for it. 50-yard line, we're going for it.
It should be a beautiful uniform game as well. I think of all the retro new
Do we know the uniforms?
I think the Chargers have probably my favorite set of them, whether it's their dark blues, their royal blues, the baby blue, powder blue,
the yellow pants.
Yeah, they have so many cool jerseys. I'm so glad they went back to the lightning bolt, the numbers, and the helmets.
What uniforms are they wearing this week? Oh, Khalil Mack. How about that?
How about Khalil Mack?
You a little worried about him lining up over Mike McGlinchey?
Yeah, and then Derwin James. How about Mike McGlinchey earlier this week talking about how everyone wanted to take Derwin James? Did he listen to my draft show with Chris Townsend that night?
I think
I was screaming to the high heavens to take Derwin James.
You know, I had a draft show earlier that day too, at around noon.
Oh, that was the Peacock Hour. That was you
at Schrader's.
That was you, a man who's at another station now. Fortenbaugh. There was so many.
Well, that was
Peacocks.
I'm talking about before that. About 12 o'clock, somebody brought up McGlinchey. I'm like, well, Derwin James or Roquan Smith might be there.
Exactly.
But Roquan Smith got selected number 8 overall by the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
And, I'm a big Florida State fan. Although Derwin James at last year at Florida State, he was not right because he was coming off an ACL injury. So you could tell he wasn't quite right that season. Damn, he's a special
He's a
player.
Pro Bowler when he's healthy.
He's a special
There's like no
player.
question about it.
Special
If
player.
I were to ask you right now, and it's not an either or, but, could McGlinchey ever make a Pro Bowl?
No.
Why'd you chuckle?
No. Come on, man.
Mike
McGlinchey, God bless his soul. The Niners need him. I guess he's a good run blocker. We're going to hear from Brad Graham at 8:30 about Mike McGlinchey. This matchup worry because Khalil Mack can wreck the game. The play he made last week against the Falcons flipped that football game. Drake London's at the 5-yard line about to go in to score. They held him up, and Khalil Mack just snatched the ball out of his hands. Kept the Chargers in the game. They ended up winning the football game to improve to 5-3. I think we forgot how good Khalil Mack is. So we know Mack lined it up over Trent Williams. Probably not going to happen. Lined it up over Mike McGlinchey. Probably going to happen a lot. Get me a tight end over there. Get me a running back over there. Double him, chip him, double team him, chop block him. Do whatever you got to do to help out Mike McGlinchey this week because that's the one matchup where if you get Khalil Mack over Mike McGlinchey and you get Derwin James Jr. blitzing on that same side, that could cause havoc for the 49ers. That could go from, hey, they're playing a clean football game to, oh, boy, they had 3 turnovers tonight.
Well, I think the guy we haven't talked a lot about this year, Banks, looks like he's developing quite nicely on that offensive line. I'm flipping it over to the other side, B. I'm looking over at, the DBs and what they have out there, the Niners right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good matchup for them in terms of DBs. They should be able to be okay against this Charger wide receiver core if they're all hurt the way we're assuming that they're going to be right now. So, it stinks that Verrett went down. I just didn't think he would have a healthy season. And I'm not trying to hate on him. It's just you can't rely on people who miss the amount of time that he's missed. Anything that he gave you would have been gravy. Gravy.
Emmanuel Mosley is a loss for all.
Huge.
That's the loss.
Yes.
Because now you were talking about having the best corner tandem. And the Chargers both the same thing. They just lost J.C. Jackson against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
And J.C. Jackson is one of the better corners in all of football.
Yeah.
J.C. Jackson and Asante Samuel Jr. had an argument to be the best duo in football at the cornerback spot. Now, we're still going to see Asante Samuel Jr. He's a special player, special cornerback. We all kind of talked about him, right? Man, he's in that draft, and be nice to have him. He's special. But they also lost J.C. Jackson. But losing Emmanuel Mosley, what is it going to loom large for the 49ers? Will it be a factor? Will it be a factor at all? You're rolling out Diamador Lenore, Ambry Thomas, Sammy Womack III.
Well, I'm looking at their schedule moving forward for the next month or so. I don't think it's going to hit them until playoff time. Because I'm looking at teams that can really exploit them via the pass and spread you out.
Philadelphia.
Exactly. You took the words right out. Devontae and AJ, that's probably the tandem that I fear the most in a matchup against these corners right now. I think they can get away with it. And the other part of that is when you look at Philadelphia, no one talks about the strength of that team is in the trenches, offensive and defensive line. And so that's going to neutralize your pass rush, which is going to put more pressure on your DBs. So that's a matchup that I don't like for the Niners.
Yeah.
I don't like that matchup.
Let's hope somebody beats Philadelphia.
All the other ones, though,
Dallas. Now, how much does Odell Beckham Jr. change that? If Odell Beckham Jr. signs with the Dallas Cowboys.
What's he look like? I got to see what he looks like and where he is. When he first went to the Rams, it took a little ramp up period. but he was dynamic.
Once he ramped
Yeah,
up.
because they balanced the field. I mean, I fear CD alone because CD's a great player.
CD's a great player. So now you get CD and you get Odell Beckham Jr. and you get Schultz and you get Tony Pollard and you got Gallup as your third receiver. That could become a problem. So the Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett, I'm kind of with you there. Where I didn't have high hopes for him.
I don't want to diminish the injury.
No. It's a terrible injury.
Was I prepared for him to play? Let's say he comes in now. He's going to play the rest of the year. No, I didn't. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. No, but you saw when he did play with the Niners.
He was great. Talent's not the problem with him. It's not the problem. And when you saw that practice, he's got very skinny legs. Mm-hmm. And his on-ball skills during games that year he was healthy in 2021, or was it 2020, excuse me. I think it was the COVID year.
Yeah.
Undeniable. I mean, he was a very, very well-balanced corner.
It's going to be a good game, man. This team, the Chargers have a lot of talent. Kyle Van Noy, Kenneth Murray Jr.
Aren't you glad they got Charvarius Ward?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, where would this team be without Ward?
It's a savior. It's an absolute savior. Because I'm looking at this Chargers team and I'm saying, you know what? As much as I see people say, the Chargers, their run defense is the worst in the league. They've been hearing that all week. Doesn't it just feel like they're going to step up this week? They know the Niners want to run the ball down their throats. It just feels like it's going to be. Now, if the Niners blow them out, great. But it just feels like it's going to be one of those games.
I mean, the Niners, how many blowouts have been there during the Shanahan era? Only a couple.
We saw one last week or 2 weeks ago against the Rams.
Yes. I just... Man, coming off the bye, they better come out, and the first drive has to net you a touchdown. No excuses. Full, healthy offensive arsenal. You should be able to go right down this team like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, and the Chargers, don't forget they lost also J.C. Jackson. They lost Ronnie Staley, their star left tackle out of Northwestern. That's been a big one here. Let's go to Carlos real quick before our injury report on Jason Verrett. Carlos, what's happening? You're on the roast. Carlos, what's up?
So I'm a Chargers fan, and Jason Verrett, I was a big fan of his when he was with us. That's just the problem. He was just so non-dependent to be on the field. The man was a stud when he was out there. I actually just met him recently in Sunnyvale because I'm from the Bay Area. Pretty good guy. So that's pretty much it. And also a comment about the Justin Herbert comparison to Joe Burrow and all them. I don't know, man. I think he stands there with those guys. I know he hasn't gotten to the playoffs and whatnot, but I think the guy's a stud. I think he kept us in the mix against the Raiders last year at the last game to get to the playoffs, and it was pretty much him who led us there. Fourth down after fourth down after fourth down, but the man's a stud. I think we should downgrade that guy.
All right, no doubt. I can't wait to see him in person. Sunday night, Levi Stadium. It's going to be a lot of fun. And another guy is going to be there, the voice of Sunday Night Football, Mike Tirico. We're going to talk to him next. Wow. Mike Tirico, the voice of Sunday Night Football, the pride of Syracuse. He's done everything. NBC Sports. He's been everywhere. ABC, Monday Night Football with John Gruden. Mike Tirico is one of the best in the business. The NBA Finals. Can't forget about that. He's been awesome. Mike Tirico is going to join us next on the Morning Roast. But first, it's time for a little injury report.
It's time for the injury report. It really hurts. Brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years.
That's right. He did have the BD dunk with Hubie Brown. Hubie Brown with the most underrated hello. He's breaking down the defensive concepts, and he goes, hello. That's the best part of that clip. Mike Tirico's awesome.
Was it, oh my... Did he go, oh my goodness?
Did he go?
What was the call?
Maybe we'll play it coming back.
Yeah.
Play it coming back. All right. Could we see a Bosa ball on Sunday night? You just heard from John Bosa, the father of Nick and Joey. He's not going to play after undergoing groin surgery since in late September. Chargers head coach Brandon Staley said that while he is not practicing yet, he should be at practice soon. As of right now, it does not look likely. And, of course, we're not going to see the Bosa brothers together. That would have been really, really cool. Like the Manning Bowl. Remember we saw the Manning Bowl for the first time? Eli and Peyton at the Meadowlands in New York. And Eli scores a touchdown there up, and then Peyton Manning stole it at the end. That was a lot of fun. When Peyton was like, I'm sitting there on the goalpost, and I see my little brother just walk out to the field to warm up. I'm like, man, that's my little brother right there. Play quarterback for the New York Giants. Would have been cool to see the 97s after the game with that photo, but we're not going to see it this time around. Hopefully 4 years from now at SoFi Stadium, we do see it, or if Joey wants to make his way up north, then we can have the Bosas on one team. That'd be pretty sick, huh? The Injury Report brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. What's coming up on a game sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. The one and only Mike Tirico next on The Roast.
This year's ratings of the best TVs just got published, and Samsung, LG, and Sony scored the highest. Also, they warned about the poor performance of the bargain brands promoted at some stores. So where can you get the best deal on the top-rated TVs? At the club? Online? Nope. At Video Only. They've got their better than Black Friday deals on right now. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only before you buy.
AT&T Fiber presents a straightforward moment inspired by straightforward pricing.
And now we just cube the pancetta as such.
So what's on the menu tonight?
This carbonara I found online. It's fire. You gonna love it, Mom.
I hope you hold on to this AT&T Fiber, son. It's nice.
Yeah, you should settle down now that you're a gagillionaire.
Oh, I am. I finally found the one internet I've been looking for my whole life.
So, no more one-year stands?
No, I'm done with all that. With AT&T Fiber, there's no price increase at 12 months.
What about equipment fees?
Nope.
Those were never any good for you.
Exactly. But now, everything's completely straightforward.
Well, in the spirit of being straightforward, I never liked any of your old ones.
Me neither. Blah.
Y'all never told me that.
But we're being straightforward now, which feels good, yeah?
Yeah. Now let's get straightforward about that girl he's been seeing.
Straightforward is better. No equipment fees, no data caps, no price increase at 12 months. Live like a gagillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
No one knows where this market will go. Things could change tomorrow, next week, or next month. At Merrill, we've been here before, and history shows this is the time to stay focused on your future. Because through every market, the bull will always have your back. Find an advisor in the Bay Area at ml.com/bullish.
Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do?
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor. Member SIPC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Bank of America Corp.
With energy bills as high as they are, proper weatherproofing is essential. If you're working with a client to upgrade or build a new home, be sure to visit Golden State. They partner with respected brands such as Owens Corning, James Hardie, and Boral Siding. They're a great option for a comfortable home with lower energy bills. Start at goldenstatelumber.com. Building better in the Bay Area since 1954. Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Planning a road trip this fall? Maximize your fuel economy by inflating tires to proper pressure and packing light. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
I'm Chris Walls, and I'm a truck driver from Missouri. For 13 hours a night, I sit in my truck and I drive. Out of boredom, I'll stop and eat. If I'm not doing fast food, I guarantee there's a bag of chips open on my dashboard. Along with that, I'm good for about 4 liters of soda a night. That was all until Andro 400. I started out 4 months ago weighing 341 pounds, and since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds. I'm sleeping better. There's no cravings. My knee pains went away. I've had some lower back issues, and I've noticed that went away, and I can only contribute that to Andro 400. One thing that Andro 400 said on the radio ad says it attacks belly fat. Well, let me tell you, it did. I've lost 6 inches. This product really does work.
So guys, if you'd like to experience similar results, then get Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Throughout the 60s and 70s, cops hunted down key figures of the Dixie Mafia, including its enigmatic ringleader, Kirksey Nix.
I'm interested in making money. I'm not interested in hurting people.
15 years into Kirksey's life sentence, the Dixie Mafia was practically folklore, but that would soon change. I'm Jed Lipinski. This is Gone South, a documentary podcast from C13 Originals, a Cadence 13 studio. Season 2, The Dixie Mafia. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. See better and stay safe on the road with our visibility event. Right now, you can earn up to $20 in bonus rewards when you buy a pair of Rain-X Quantum Wiper Blades and Sylvania Silverstar Ultra headlights. Take advantage of the rewards from October 31st until November 13th, in-store or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Provember is back at Lowe's, and so are the savings. Power the possibilities with savings on the DeWalt tools you trust to get the job done. Like the DeWalt 16-piece reciprocating saw blade set was $29.98, now $19.98. And the DeWalt 14-piece assorted drill bit set was $16.98, now $9.98. These deals are tough to beat, and so are the tools. It always pays to be a pro at Lowe's. Offer ends 12/28 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC-FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast. Featuring
Fillmore's finest, Monte Hill. The pride of the Excelsior, Joe Butcher Boy Shasky. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, the morning roast.
And then getting the basketball, because a lot of good things will happen, not just with him scoring, but then also it open up. Oh, man! Hello.
Timeout in Barron's house.
Oh, man, that's one of our favorite Mike Tirico calls. Also, the pick at the stick when Navarro Bowman shut down Candlestick Park with that pick against the Falcons on Monday Night Football. Mike Tirico joins the morning roast, the voice of Sunday Night Football, who joins Chris Collinsworth on the call of Chargers-Niners this Sunday at 5:20 p.m. on NBC and Peacock, the #1 rated primetime show for 11 straight years. He was also the voice of Monday Night Football. He's done the NBA Finals. He's done the NHL, golf, tennis, you name it. World Cup soccer. Mike Tirico, welcome to the morning roast with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky the Butcher. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. It's good to be out here. Good to wake up with that good memory. Sitting next to Hubie Brown calling games there in the Baron Davis days with the Warriors. Man, that was fun. That was quite a night. I love that building, because that building and Sacramento when the Kings were good, which was right when I was starting with the NBA in the early 2000s. Those were the two loudest buildings in the league, and the atmosphere there for late season, big West Coast games or playoff games were just fabulous.
Yeah, and that hello by Hubie Brown is so underrated. We love that. It complimented your call so well when Baron Davis dunked over Andre Kirilenko with the We Believe team back in 07-08. But, Mike, we got a big game on Sunday, and the last time you saw the 49ers was in Denver, week 3. Jimmy Garoppolo was making his first start of the season, and it was a dreadful game, no lie. Unless you want to say it was a defensive slugfest. 11-10, the Broncos won, and the Niners offense did not look good at all. But now they add Christian McCaffrey. You're seeing a whole new offense now, Mike, this Sunday against the Chargers.
I'm trying to forget that game. I hope you are too. the second 11-10 game in the history of the NFL, 100-something years, and we stumbled on 11-10 with two teams that I think are very different, and obviously the Niners are so different. To think about for the first time to line up Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Trent Williams. You're talking about 5 players, the 5 of your 11 offensive players who are all pro caliber players. So that adds such difficulty to me for opposing defenses. And given the bye week, I'm really excited to see what Kyle and the staff have put together offensively with Deebo and McCaffrey, and the conflict that you cause for the opposing defense with those two players, because their versatility, they get the ball in their hands and they go. So I think it's one of those defenses that you absolutely have to play safe. You can't let them have a big play, but the problem is a little screen pass to either guy can turn into a 40, 50-yard play just like that. So I love what this team has a chance to do in the second half of the season. Might be underrated in terms of the teams that can get all the way there out of the NFC.
You know, Mike, you obviously referenced one of the games that you were at earlier this year with Jimmy Garoppolo stepping out of bounds, almost threw a pick 6, or John Bosa called it a pick 8 on that play because of the safety and the interception simultaneously. But like Jimmy Garoppolo, we're in the bubble, and I call him Jimmy Grab Bag because I have no idea whether it's going to be good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. We just have no idea week to week. What's your assessment of Jimmy Garoppolo?
Guys, there are a lot of quarterbacks who don't have the ability to get a team to the Super Bowl, and I know he did. Now, is he going to get the team all the way there in the same way that Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes will this year if they get their teams, or the way we've watched Brady and Rodgers do it? Not necessarily. But I trust him more than I trust a lot of the guys who I watch in the league. His ability to throw on time, the catch and run, all the yak we talk about with this team, a lot of it is because the ball is delivered on time and in the right place. Does he miss some of the big stuff? Yes. Is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? Not at this moment. It would have to be a drastic change in the next 6 years, 7 years to have that conversation. But given what this team is right now and what John Lynch has built with great acquisitions, I think, and Kyle Shanahan's offense, Jimmy can absolutely get the job done. It's been close enough here the last couple of years and getting all the way there as well. So why not this time around? Instead of lamenting that, okay, I don't have one of the 4 or 5 guys who are in the VIP, inside the velvet rope group of quarterbacks in the league, I think look at the fit to this team and where can this team go in this year. Philadelphia is unbeaten. Minnesota has 1 loss, only to Philadelphia. Other than that, Dallas has a couple. The Niners can play with any of those teams. If any of those teams draw the Niners tomorrow for a playoff game at their place, with the San Francisco defense, if it's healthy, and this offense, the Niners would be an uncomfortable fit for everybody, and that's with Jimmy G as quarterback. So I get what you're saying. I know why they were looking for Trey Lance or that other element to this offense, but given where you are right now, a lot of teams are in far poorer, tougher positions than the Niners are.
All right, we're talking to Mike Tirico, the voice of Sunday Night Football, the #1 primetime show for 11 straight years. Joins Chris Collinsworth on the call of Chargers Niners this Sunday, 5:20 on NBC and Peacock. And I know you just called your 200th NFL game. We'll get to that in just a second. I know that's a great milestone for you. But when the trade was made for Christian McCaffrey, what was your initial thoughts when you saw that trade hit the timeline?
Okay, good for Lynch. Okay, good for John. Go get a Stanford guy back out here and put the band together. With Christian in this offense, you think about what's it worth. Okay, so you trade a 2, a 3, and a 4. And so a couple of those players may become starters, but to win right now, given what you have and the way Kyle Shanahan designs offense, there's no better fit. There is no better fit. And, now you start to get Elijah Mitchell back in the mix here. All of a sudden, this team looks a little bit different in the backfield. And McCaffrey, and when I was running through the All-Pros, I should have mentioned Juszczyk too.
Yeah.
When you think about that, because he's been a Pro Bowler for the last 6 years in a row. There are so many options, and this is a perfect fit. Christian's issue the last couple of years has been his health. But if we go back to 2019, he had a 1,000 season, which we've only seen a couple of in the history of the league. So if that kind of ability, and we see it in spurts in Carolina, but let's be honest, the Panthers are not on the national stage as often as the Niners are. People will start to appreciate what a great player he is. I love this opposite side of the field situation we have Sunday night because you've got Christian McCaffrey, and if he's the best all-purpose back in terms of receiving and rushing, maybe the second best or equal with him is Austin Eckler from the Chargers. I think you have 2 guys who are the definition of what the running back position looks like in today's NFL. To be that, not just high fantasy point guy for the people who are listening, who are fantasy owners, but also the guys who make it difficult on defense. So I love this pickup for San Francisco.
It's a fun matchup, I think, on Sunday night. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there, and I'm seeing, obviously you reference Eckler and CMC, Herbert, Garoppolo, even though they're not going to be against each other per se. And then I look at Khalil Mack and Nick Bosa. I mean, one of the best defensive ends, outside linebackers in the game versus one of the best up-and-coming defensive ends in this game. What's the matchup outside of those that you're looking at?
Yeah, it's all trade-offs, right, guys? And, the bummer here is with some of those matchups, we don't get Bosa against Bosa.
Yeah.
We were all looking forward to see those guys on a field at the same, obviously not at the same time, but in the same game would have been So cool to celebrate what those brothers have been, both defensive rookies of the year when they came into the league out of Ohio State. The matchup I'm looking forward to the most probably will be watching the Chargers try to stop the variety that we've been discussing with 23 in McCaffrey and 19 in Debo and 11 in Ayuk on the field. Because they've got some people on their side of the ball. Derwin James, a hell of a safety. Alohi Gilman has come in a role that's allowed James to be a third safety on the field sometimes. Asante Samuel Jr. is doing a really good job as a corner. They're going to need versatile players to do things against the versatility of San Francisco. And the problem is right now for the Chargers, not having Bosa on the field for them limits their edge pass rushing, and people have run on them.
Right.
They looked really bad against the run in the first quarter against Atlanta, and then they changed their defense. The Falcons couldn't take the next move in the chessboard to beat them. San Francisco can do that. So that's the matchup I'm excited to watch. Can the Chargers defense stay with San Francisco as Kyle goes through that script and starts flipping formation, sides of the ball, and compromising the people on defense?
You know, before the season, Mike, we dubbed it the year of Shanahan, the year of Kyle Shanahan, because of having a new quarterback in Trey Lance who's going to make, his third start in the season opener against Chicago. We know he had 2 starts last year against Houston and Arizona, and we thought this is going to be the year Shanahan really is going to have to coach this team up. And now with all these weapons, and I'm looking at the rest of the NFC, you named it, Sirianni, Philadelphia, second-year coach, 1 playoff appearance. They lost to Tampa. Mike McCarthy in Dallas. He's had his shortcomings. They saw the Cowboys last year in the wild card game and beat them. And I'm looking at all the coaches in the NFC, and outside of Pete Carroll, I'm not sure I'd rather have another coach other than Kyle Shanahan. It feels like this team and this roster is set up for him to go on the big-time run and start to put his name back up there with Sean McVay and some of the best play callers in the league.
Yeah, he is. I don't think he left that spot for me. I thought this was going to be an interesting year to see Trey Lance in this offense, but let's take a bigger step back. You plan all off season and all year to have a quarterback in a style, and now you've got to pivot in the middle of week 2 and make this run for the rest of the season back to Jimmy Garoppolo. I know plays stay the same, all the terminology, it's a guy who's been in the system, but you were going down one road, now you're turning and pivoting here. And there were a couple of sticky situations to handle. The Debo Samuel situation was sticky. How's he getting paid? Receiver, running back, all that stuff in camp. And obviously with Jimmy, what a brilliant move by John Lynch and Kyle to find a way to make this work. I know it feels like it's ancient history. It took only a month and a half ago or 9 weeks ago. But when you look back now, that might be the move of the year, to find a way to restructure, but also keep him in a comfortable place where this can work for you. And Jimmy has now, and back to the point you were making earlier, Jimmy's a little bit betting on himself now, and he's got a chance to go out and earn big money somewhere if he has a great season here. And they've got the pieces to do it. So if you want to talk intrigue around the league, look, the Cowboys are the team that gets the guys on cable TV in the morning yelling all the time, right? Everybody's yelling about the Cowboys. Not many people yelling about the 49ers. Just wait. I just think this second half of the year, if the defense can stay healthy, can really be special out here.
Mike, I want to zoom out for just a second in sports because you've had just an incredible career. And Bonte and I, we always kick around our favorite broadcasters because we get geeky about it. And you're always at the top of my list for me. And I think of certain moments in Bay Area history, and you've been a part of so many great ones. Yep. I want to know what your favorite one is. 05, this is a random one. John Daly, Tiger Woods, the WGC, all right? Where
very good.
It was incredible. It was one of my favorite ones.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and then you did the Baron Davis dunk. You did the final game, the pick at the stick.
Yep. Are
there other ones, or is one of those 3? What's the number one that you think of when you think of going back to the Bay Area that you were a part of as a broadcaster?
So I'll give you one side one here that wasn't a game or a moment, but man, was I just on edge and didn't know what to do when the Niners played the Steelers at the stick. And the Transformer blew.
Oh, that's the blackout game. The blackout game.
Smith had like 4 or 5 sacks in that game.
Yeah.
We were like 10 minutes with, okay, what happened? Was it another earthquake? Did something happen out here? Because we were completely out of touch with everything. And I remember getting on the phone and calling into, it was like college radio on the phone talking, but instead of being on the air to 20 people on a college radio station, we're on the air to millions of people watching on ESPN doing Monday night countdown at the time. That was a bizarre night. All of those are fun in their own unique way, but my favorite of all of them was the last game at the Stick. I mean, Willie Mays is there.
Wow.
Clark, rest his soul, is there. Steve Young and Jerry Rice are throwing a touchdown pass to the end zone.
Wow.
In the pregame. Excuse me. That was one of the great nights just to be a kid who grew up in New York. But, you always had this mystical Candlestick, whether it was the Giants or you'd watch the Mets were my favorite team growing up. You watch the Mets come out here in July for a 3-game series, and it was freezing cold. You're like, what is going on out there? Right? And then all the years of watching Madden Summerall do the Niners out here.
I talk about it all the time, Mike.
Mike, Seifert, all that stuff, all of it.
You're tugging at my heart, dude. I grew up near Candlestick. Right. That's my spot. And watching the Willie doc.
Yeah. Please tell me you watched the Willie Mays doc. I don't know if you're a busy guy. Have you watched the doc yet?
I did. Look, when Willie ended his career in New York, it just kind of, back in New York, just kind of reconnected you to one of the great players in the history of sports that we've had. And one of the, that name alone, Willie Mays. Right?
Wow.
People make a catch in any sport anyway. Like, it's a Willie Mays catch. And people still know it. And he hasn't made a catch in, 40, 50 years, right?
Right.
They still talk about him. That's the sign of greatness. But, we have a son who's out in school out this way, so getting out to the Bay Area is always fun, but when you do drive from the airport to San Francisco, I always do kind of look over there to the right.
Oh, it hurts our heart. I drive there every morning. Every morning, Mike, when I'm on the way to the studio.
I miss it.
Or when we're going to Chase Center. I drive by and I see that empty lot, and it's just because that's our childhood right there, Mike. But we share cheers. Joe and I, we both talked about it, and we both had tears coming down our eyes at the end of the doc, and we never seen Willie play.
Yeah.
And we know all about Willie. We seen him at Oracle Park. We seen him at the Bonds number retirement, and we both had tears coming down for a variety of reasons.
It's the coolest, really. And I told the story, an article that I think is in the Chronicle today. The reporter asked me about the last game at the Stick, and just remember I was doing it with John Gruden. We're up in the booth, and there was a chance that the Niners could have hosted a playoff game, but they needed 17 things to happen in week 17, right? It was unlikely, but it was one of those you couldn't with certainty say it was the final game at the Stick. And at some point, we're like, let's just say it, and if we've got to go back and apologize for it later, that's great, because it likely will be. And I just remember saying to John, if there's no more games, we can take that little sliding thing that says network TV booth here. We can take that as a memento, because there'll never be another broadcast in this booth again. So I think 9 years later, I could admit that we did think about taking it, but we didn't, just in case there was one playoff game there after that. But would have loved to have walked away with that memento of Candlestick. But to think of all those great Niners games over the years on TV that I watched, when we walked out of the booth, John and I remember we just said to each other, hey, it's going to be the last time anybody does a game here. How blessed are we that we get the chance to do it? It was really a fun night, and this is such a great area. The name The Faithful for the fans is so right for this group, because they are such good fans.
Real quick, Joe, I want to jump in here because you brought up Gruden, and you guys did a couple. I don't know if it was the blackout game against the Pittsburgh Steelers or that last game, but there was a graphic. Gruden talked about how Charles Haley made Gruden pick him up and drive his car. It was like an 88 Delta or something. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember the car. We heard the story a bunch of times, and John was like so many of these guys around the league. They're such great storytellers because they were around it. And the people who were around the Niners, I think of John, I think of Mooch, over the years, they have so many great stories to tell because of the players that Eddie DeBartolo brought in here, the way Eddie and Carmen Policy treated them, and the way Walsh coached them up and then coached up the coaches. So the people who touched the Niners were, for a generation, the best players, the best coaches. So hearing some of those stories over the years were great, and we finally convinced John, you got to tell that story on the air with him. It's just great. And there are some other Charles stories that can't get on the air.
Well, Fonte ran into him at the NFC Championship game after we all went down to L.A. and we're sitting in the stands and everything, and after the game was over, you ran into him, right?
Yeah, and Charles Haley was more disappointed than I was about the loss of the Reds. I had to pick up Charles Haley, Mike. Shasky's best friend, Rocco, sat next to me, and we're sitting up just like, Charles, man, I know it's a tough one. And we were depressed, and Charles Haley sat there like he just played.
But isn't that the best?
Yes.
Isn't it the best when you see these guys have that same connection and you understand what made them so special. So the one thing I was thinking about this organization, obviously Walsh was here, and there were so many coaches and so many great players. Think of all the coaches that have been around Kyle Shanahan, the different places. That tree is one of the most significant coaching trees in the NFL right now. And rare that a franchise has one coach like that. The Niners could have two. And it's just an appreciation. Look, this is a team that you want to see win a Super Bowl or get to more Super Bowls. So does everybody. But as you travel around and you deal with coaches and you deal with the level of sophistication of what they do and how they run their program, Kyle's right up there with one of the best that I've come across over the last 10 years. No doubt about it.
And it's so hard to win just at any level. And, John Madden took 9 years to win his one and only. So you were talking about Candlestick Park, and I grew up near the neighborhood. So to me, it's nostalgic for a variety of reasons. My dad used to take me out there all the time. We watched the Willie Doc, and it was the old, Candlestick where it was open bowled. And I knew it as like a football, baseball venue. And then eventually the Giants built a beautiful crown jewel at downtown. But you visit all these brand new stadiums, and I know that new and corporate money is where it's at, and you visit all these ones. But aren't we missing something? Are we missing the nostalgia and the soul of some of these franchises, like the Yankees, for example? Bonte says he's been to Yankee Stadium.
The new Yankee Stadium.
And the new one just doesn't hit the same. Candlestick was its own entity, and I know why they built Levi's, but isn't there a part of you that kind of wishes we had a couple of these crown jewels like Candlestick that we could just, stay in, even though I know it's old and cold, but it was, I don't know, it just had a soul to it, Mike.
So I told you I grew up a Mets fan, and my favorite T-shirt that I saw when the Mets ended their run at Shea Stadium, like Candlestick, built in that era, baseball and football combo place, right? The stands would move to accommodate. The T-shirt I saw was, Shea was a dump, but it was our dump.
Yep.
Right? We loved it. We had that emotional connection. It's a different time in sports. I mean, you just look at the volume of, think of the romantic connection of listening to games on the radio, and obviously down in Southern California, people listening to Vin, or up here listening to John Miller call the Giants games, or Hank Greenwald, fellow Syracuse alum.
Love Hank.
Over the years, right? There was a connection that was different. It's just a very different time, and it just is not feasible to have that. So what replicates that? Fans.
Yeah.
Fans. Like, you go to SoFi, and you guys know when the Niners play at SoFi, it's the Rams have to think about having a silent count. Right? It's at home. So the fans replicate the play. So there will be times when you'll come into Levi's where, okay, it doesn't rock like the stick, or it doesn't have those, silly wind aesthetics that the wind's blowing everywhere. Yet the place can rock if the team gets really good. And that, at the end of the day, has more of an impact. So,
that's true.
Of course, we're nostalgic for, for the arena where the Warriors played, all the 18 different names it had. We're nostalgic for the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, Candlestick. But time moves on. Here, we're lucky to have those memories of those places.
Yeah,
and I think that's what defines long-term sports fans, in my opinion.
Couple more for you, Mike, real quick. Derwin James Samuel Jr., our text line, is into this interview, Xfinity Mobile text line. Talk about those Florida State guys. They're saying, hey, they're going to beat up on your Syracuse Orange tomorrow. I happen to be a big-time Florida State fan. I had my producer, Sam Lubman, who you talked to on the phone, wear a Charlie Ward jersey on Monday because Florida State beat up on Miami. So I know Syracuse has slumped a little bit after nearly beating Clemson, but also you called your 200th NFL football game at the Link, Philadelphia and Dallas. What does that mean to you? Because you've done a little bit of everything. 200 football games, and I feel like you've been on our airways forever.
I was not the one counting, I can promise you. When the guys told me, oh, that's cool. I've been lucky enough to do them all in prime time. I think that's the difference, doing the Monday nights and then some Thursdays along the way, and now Sunday night. And I found that just getting back to this rhythm of doing an NFL game every week is so much fun. I did enjoy doing the studio show again. Monday night, the Monday Night Countdown was the precursor to Monday Night Football for me. And then Football Night in America has been the precursor of my NBC days to doing this. But just the camaraderie of a group to go out every week and go NFL city to NFL city and have the broadcast build. It certainly has very little to do with me or Chris or Melissa Stark. It's our production team and that group. And just watch it come together. My athletic career was non-existent. And to be a part of a team and know that camaraderie of the team and build it together, that's what I love the most. So the chance to start to do this again has been the biggest joy out of doing all these games over the years.
And Mike, I got to share this story. Shasky here is a big-time golf fan. He loves golf. He lives for it. My first memory of golf, I didn't even know what a par was or birdie was until the 98 U.S. Open. And I had to work there as part of the football team at Washington High School. We were cleaning up the trash. We were selling hot dogs and everything. And I remember on the last day, I'll never forget this. You were in the cart, and we were blocking you guys. And we all moved out the way for you. And you said, hey, guys, thanks so much, man. You guys have a great weekend. Where you guys go? You asked us about what high school you went to, you drove off. And I've never forgotten about that. And as we grow into business, Shasky and I, we kind of take that similar approach to all our fans, all our audience, saying, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Where you from? And that memory has never left me. And I'll never forget it when you said, all right, guys, have a good one. And you just rolled off in the U.S. Open when Lee Jansen beat Payne Stewart III. That was our first golf memory, and you were part of it.
Well, that is cool. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Those, when you do events, and you guys are around it now, that's the joy of it, right? You get to see how it starts and where it ends, and all the people who make an event come together, which is neat. And golf's the special one because people volunteer. People give up their vacation week to come hold up signs that say "Quiet, please," right? just to be around it. But we were doing the shows for ESPN early and late around those U.S. Opens. What a fun experience that was. And golf has taken me to 5 different continents to call sports, right? Wow. And, you just have such an appreciation for how good they are, but the people who make it happen. So thanks for volunteering 24 years later, man. Thank you.
No doubt. It's never left me, man. I was like, Mike Tirico's always good in my book, man. And, coming on the morning roast this morning with us, we appreciate the time. 26 minutes. You, I know you're a busy guy. You got to meet with the coaches, the Chargers, the Niners, but we'll be listening. We'll be there, and then we'll watch the replay when we get home and get ready for the morning show. So have a good call on Sunday, man. We appreciate the time.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed the visit, and we look forward to doing it again soon here.
Absolutely. Mike Tirico, the voice of Sunday Night Football, joining Chris Collinsworth on the call for Chargers and Niners this Sunday at 5:20 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. What an interview. We go from him to Brad Graham as SF Niners to break down the Chargers and Niners even more. We gave out some tickets. I want to get the name of the guy we gave out tickets to. And don't forget, Jerry Rice joining the show Monday at 8:30 via Zoom. That'll be a lot of fun to recap Niners and Chargers. Mike Tirico, what a great get. Good job, Loveman, on that one. Brad Graham coming up, brought to you by Outdoor Supply Hardware, Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises.
This Veterans Day, Osh is giving 20% off to all retired and active military service members. Visit any Osh location November 11th through 13th and receive 20% off with ID. Visit 14 convenient Bay Area and Central Coast locations. Osh, neighbors helping neighbors.
November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday? Before you click, you should call Video Only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out Video Only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
Universal Studios Hollywood is where the holidays come together. We've tested it. Festive food with refreshing Coca-Cola. Family, friends, and fa la la. Dazzling lights cranked up to maximum merriment. The Grinch and his dog Max stealing your tree. All the science adds up. It's the awesomest celebration of the season. Save $20 on a Coca-Cola 2-day general admission ticket. Offer ends 12/14/22. Restrictions apply. Details at universalstudioshollywood.com/Coke offer.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Holiday Prep event. Here to help you host the season with offers, in-store workshops, and more.
Oh, great. I may have invited the whole neighborhood for the holidays.
Don't worry, you can do this. To start, IKEA family members save 20% on Venturfent Christmas tree decor and gift wrap.
You are my hero.
Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/holiday prep to get ready and save. Offer valid 11/9 to 11/23/22. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. Restrictions apply.
America's favorite car show makes its final Bay Area stop of the year with a jam-packed weekend of hot rod and fun the whole family will love. It's the Good Guys 32nd Autumn Get-Together, and it's all going down this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. See over 2,500 of the West Coast's coolest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks of all years. Plus, shop the huge swap meet and vendor exhibit. Check out the Smash for Cash Demolition Derby. Experience a tire smoke and burnout competition, Nitro Thunderfest, and so much more. It's all this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
With energy bills as high as they are, proper weatherproofing is essential. If you're working with a client to upgrade or build a new home, be sure to visit Golden State. They partner with respected brands such as Owens Corning, James Hardy, and Boral Siding. They're a great option for a comfortable home with lower energy bills. Start at goldenstatelumber.com. Building better in the Bay Area since 1954. Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
In Redwood City, partly cloudy today, highs just 58.
Weather brought to you by one thing. Install a low-flow shower head and keep water off when brushing teeth or shaving to save water every day. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow.
If you run a small business, you need the most from every investment. That's why Comcast Business gives you more, like our new gig speed Wi-Fi, plus unlimited data, all on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for just $49.99 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Ends 12/5/2022. Restrictions apply. Eco bill and auto pay required. New 50 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Oh my God.
Now, back to the morning roast with Bonte and Shasky.
Shout out to Curtis Jenkins. Curtis Jenkins. You're going to see the Dubs and the Clippers November 23rd at Chase Center.
Nice.
How about that? He got the question right. He was listening to the interview.
Nice.
John Bosa will be at Levi's.
Wait.
Not wearing a jersey. He'll be neutral.
But that's not the only time that you can win tickets. You can win tickets all day, correct?
Ah, that's right.
10:15, I think, is the next window.
Okay, and then you got
you have
Steiny
to
and Goo.
listen to each show because they're going to ask you a question about something that happens during the show.
Yep.
So we're giving them out all day. So I would just keep the radio on.
Or
keep
YouTube.
the YouTube on.
Twitch, Xfinity mobile text line. Keep it all on. Keep it all on. You want to listen. You can go to a Warriors game, especially against the Clippers. That's going to be a big game on a Wednesday, November 23rd, right before Thanksgiving. Our big man, we had to cancel him a couple times last week, and we apologize because Brad is the dude. He is the man at SF Niners. He breaks it down, retired offensive lineman. We love him here on the roast, and he's doing big things. I mean, he's big time now. He's doing weekly hits on Cron 4 with Jason Dumas and Kate Rooney. I'm not sure. He's going to be asking us for money soon to get on this show. Hey, what's the fee, Brad? What's the fee for you? But we had to catch you a couple times because a lot of things were going on with the Golden State Warriors. But we got football back after the bye week. Niners and Chargers at Levi's. The Chargers coming in at 5-3. Niners coming in at 4-4. Good morning, Brad. It feels like it. I've been saying this now for over a week and a half. That Rams win and the way they won it, the fashion in which they won it in, it feels like this is the start of a big-time run for the 49ers this season. It feels like this offense is about to hum.
Bonte Butch, thank you as always for having me on. I'm glad we could connect after the bye week and especially after that win against the Rams, because after that loss to the Chiefs, making it 2 with the Falcons game as well, I think we spoke before the Falcons game, it felt like the 49ers could be turning in the wrong direction, but of course they make the Christian McCaffrey trade, and then they take care of the Rams heading into the bye week, and it really propelled them and put an energy not only into the team, but I think into the fan base. Just really propelling them. And you look at the schedule, it looks like an awesome opportunity for the San Francisco 49ers to go on a pretty legendary second-half run here.
When they added Christian McCaffrey, I think a lot of 49er fans were like, oh, okay, know him in fantasy. I've seen him a few times. He's a really good player. And then we watched him play, and it's like, oh, boy. He is a fantastic player. Didn't know he was that tough. Didn't know he was that versatile. I feel like he might be the best player on the 49er offense right now. What do you think, Brad?
I wouldn't disagree with you. I mean, the San Francisco 49ers have Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. They're getting Elijah Mitchell back. I mean, the weapons are endless, right, on that 49ers offense. But when you plug Christian McCaffrey into it, I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. I know you guys do a lot of Warriors coverage, and I'm a Warriors fan myself. And I think of Christian McCaffrey in a slight sense of Stephen Curry in the way that he creates gravity. Defense has to pay attention to where Christian McCaffrey is on the field at all times. So if they put him in the slot, it changes the relationship of the defense, linebacker, safeties, and how they're playing this offense. And then we know Kyle Shanahan. He's going to go the opposite direction, or he's going to attack the weak spots in the offense that or defenses that they show. So Christian McCaffrey is just an electric player. And of course, we're in the Bay Area, so we've watched him since he's been at Stanford. And it's been phenomenal to see his career up until this point, but to see him in a Kyle Shanahan offense right now, I mean, it's electrifying.
You know, Brian, we're talking to Brad Graham. SF Niners does a great job covering the 49ers. Check him out on YouTube, Instagram, and, of course, Twitter. He brings out the best 49ers content out there. You know, you bring up Christian McCaffrey and the gravity, and there's one play that sticks out to me, which leads me to believe this offense is about to explode. Second quarter, you know what I'm talking about. McCaffrey goes out to the flat. George Kittle goes down the seam. And the linebacker, Ernest Jones, number 53, is like, oh, my gosh, number 23 is in the flat. I got to run. And Kittle's wide open down the seam for a 20-plus yard gain. And I was like, when's the last time George Kittle was that wide open? So to speak of the gravity, that's what happens here. That's why when you insert Deebo Samuel, what is he going to do with the extra space with Christian McCaffrey on the field at the same time as him?
Oh, my goodness. I can't imagine what Kyle's going to be cooking up with Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey. Basically, both positionless players. You could put them out in the slot, you could put them out wide, you put them in the backfield, and having those players on the field at the same time, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what Kyle's cooking up, because we all know Kyle loves scheme manipulation. So those two players are the epitome of manipulating pre-snap and post-snap, and that play that you brought up, Bonte, was the perfect example of the gravity, because when we see George Kittle go out into passing routes, he's either bracketed or he's double covered. It's really hard to get Kittle free. And with Christian McCaffrey and now Deebo Samuel coming back, Elijah Mitchell's going to be back, I'm really excited to see what this offense looks like. And we've seen it's been kind of up and down throughout the first half of the year, but I think they're really going to kick it into gear in the second half.
Brad, who's the guy who's playing at the highest level but isn't getting the proper, praise for how well he's playing?
I am a big offensive line guy, and I study the offensive tape every single week when it comes out, and I really watch the O-line. I don't think, I'm giving Aaron Banks a lot of respect, but I don't think he's talked about enough. I think Aaron Banks is having a phenomenal season. He's playing with Trent Williams to the left of him, arguably the best offensive lineman in the world. I think Aaron Banks arguably is putting up better tape this year in his first full season as a starter. he is proving to be phenomenal in pass protection. The way he reads stunts, reads blitzes, passes them off. He's always on his keys. I'm really, really excited with the play of Aaron Banks, with a lot of questions that we had. And you know, we were at training camp, and he didn't have the most stellar training camp. And like, oh, no, are they going to put Poe in at guard? Like, we had those conversations. And to see Aaron Banks come on the way he has and just really, you know, he hasn't given up a sack this year, and he's played some elite interior defensive linemen, Chris Jones, Aaron Donald, Grady Jarrett, Derek Brown. The list goes on, and he's done a phenomenal job. So I think Aaron Banks deserves a lot of credit.
Brad Graham here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game does a great job covering the 49ers. Follow him at SF Niners, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. He's got all the follows there. He has all the great content. You heard him breaking down Aaron Banks there at left guard. Looking at the Chargers here, they've got some injuries, but the one matchup I'm looking for on the flip side is Austin Eckler versus Fred Warner Jr. Now, I don't know the status of Drake Greenlaw. I don't know if he's in and out. Maybe you could touch on that, but Fred Warner Jr. shadowing Austin Eckler is the matchup to watch for me when it comes to the Niners defense against the Chargers offense.
Well, we've made a lot about Christian McCaffrey, right? And you look at the Chargers' Austin Eckler, he's their version of Christian McCaffrey. He can be used in a multitude of different ways, whether it's a pass catcher or as a runner. He's just a slippery running back. And the 49ers sounds like they're going to be getting Drake Greenlaw and Azeez Al-Shaair back. So that's going to be huge for them in that defensive linebacking core, and just getting those three studs back on the field. When you look at that offense that's led by Justin Herbert, Herbert can put the ball wherever he wants. He has an amazingly talented arm, and he can really fit the ball into tight windows. And I think, but we also understand Keenan Allen, Mike Williams most likely won't play in this game. So it's going to be a lot of Austin Eckler. So Fred Warner, Azeez Al-Shaair, Drake Greenlaw, they're going to have a big task in trying to stop Austin Eckler, because as we've seen, he is also an electrifying running back.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I'm really excited. Look, we've had 8 weeks. We're kind of at the halfway point, even though there's not 16 games, there's 17. What's the number one thing that you've seen that you believe gives you the most optimism moving forward in hopefully a deep playoff run for the 49ers?
I mean, I have to come back to that offensive line. I feel like when we came into this season, again, we kind of talked about Aaron Banks a little bit. There were just so many questions with Jake Brendel, Spencer Burford, Mike McGlinchey with his leg, and we also know that Trent Williams was going through some injury concerns. But I really do believe that they have been a foundational piece up until this point. And with these added weapons in the Kyle Shanahan arsenal, I think the offensive line is going to continue to propel this team forward, because we understand they want to run the football. And when you look at the Chargers, they have the 32nd ranked yards per carry in the NFL. So they are susceptible to being gashed by the run. And so I think the 49ers, looking at this week, have an opportunity to do a lot of damage in the run game.
What's the number one thing that you're most concerned about that could be an Achilles heel and set them back if they want to make a deep playoff run?
You talked about the Achilles heel.
Oh, I didn't even mean to.
No pun intended.
I didn't even mean that. Oh boy,
Injuries.
I
was not trying to be heavy-handed. I apologize to Jason Verrett.
No, I totally understand what you were saying as well, but I think that is kind of the point of where the 49ers are at. Their biggest issue right now is health. If they can stay healthy, they're the only team that can stop the 49ers are themselves. We've seen it time and time again. When they're playing their brand of football, they're executing and doing what they need to do. It's really hard to stop them on both sides of the football. But we've also seen when injuries have occurred and they have to reach into their depth, they can stumble at times. So just staying healthy, honestly, is really going to be the biggest thing, I think, for the 49ers moving forward.
Eric Armstead obviously hurt. We don't know when he's coming back. Will we see him or Javon Kinlaw anytime soon?
I'm not holding my breath. I would love to see both of those players back on the field, because I think the 49ers have been missing that interior defensive line talent, the run-stopping ability, the creation of double teams on the interior. I think it's been really lacking, and, they've been able to get to the linebackers at a higher rate. I don't know really what that looks like, but hopefully by the end of this year, we're going to see Eric Armstead back. Javon Kinlaw, obviously on IR. hopefully he'll be back as well. But right now, we just don't know.
All right, one last little fun one here. I mean, it's not fun to a certain degree. Trey Lance took the walking boot off, right? And so there's a lot of people posting pictures of him with the walking boot off. I still feel like he's shut down for the year, and I kind of hope they keep him shut down for the year. Do you hold out any hope that maybe he could, return in some sort of a backup role off the IR? Or are you like me where you kind of want to see him maybe just get fully healthy and be right for next year?
I mean, I have to listen to Kyle Shanahan in the sense when he comes out and says there's no chance that Trey Lance is going to be playing this year, and I would have to kind of agree with you, Shasky. I think the best chance for Trey Lance is to not try to rush back, re-injure it, not put himself in a position where Jimmy Garoppolo has been leading this entire season. Just take the time to get healthy, come back, mentally prepare, get ready for OTAs. And, again, he's going to be the quarterback of the future for the 49ers as we see it. So I don't think there's any sense in rushing him back unless, knock on wood, there's a potential injury to Jimmy Garoppolo. But other than that, I really don't see a world that exists where Trey Lance plays this year.
Yeah, I'm with it, Brad. Brad Graham, SF Niners here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game. Speaking of Jimmy Garoppolo, I thought there was a couple drives in that Rams game that really led me to believe that Shanahan and Garoppolo are now starting to get on the same page, and they're starting to hum together. The drive when they took the lead, Jimmy Garoppolo was 7 for 7 on that drive to make it 17-14 Niners. And then when they were up 24-14, Shask and I were talking about this earlier, there's so many games we've seen under Shanahan where they're up 10 in the fourth. They'll try to take the air out the football. Instead, Shanahan said, go ahead and throw that ball, number 10. He threw a dime to Ross Dwelly and then a dime to George Kittle. It feels like for the first time in a long time, those two are on the same page. So when I see Derwin James and I see Khalil Mack lurking around the line of scrimmage, it feels like Shanahan and Garoppolo had the plan. And with all these weapons, it feels like that relationship that is at its best since, 2019 maybe?
That's what it feels like. I mean, Vontae Butch, we saw Jimmy Garoppolo consistently check down to the running back. I mean, when have we really ever seen that throughout their time together? And it really opened up a lot of things, I think, for the offense. Again, we talked about gravity at the beginning, but Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan, it feels like they understand that they got to make this work. There's really no other opportunity because both of their success relies on each other. So being at each other's necks or whatever it may be, I think you're seeing the benefits of them really coming together and maybe Shanahan building some confidence into Jimmy Garoppolo, and we're seeing it kind of manifest on the field because Jimmy played a really good game against the Rams. I mean, you had those two kind of oh-no throws that he was able to get away with. But other than that, he was phenomenal. I mean, hitting Christian McCaffrey on his fifth read, sitting in the pocket for, 5 seconds, stepping up into the pocket, resetting, stepping up, resetting, and then finding Christian McCaffrey. If we can see that Jimmy Garoppolo consistently for a large portion of this year, the San Francisco 49ers are going to be really hard to beat, man.
Brad, Sunday night, under the lights, because obviously the daylight savings and everything, and it's going to be cold. It's beanie and parka wear.
Is it going to be cold?
Oh, yeah. It's looking like 50s, low 50s. It's going to be chilly.
Baby Chaz, bundle up, baby.
Yeah, you better wrap up. Isn't this the best time of the year, guys? The fall is turning into winter.
What did Baldy say? He said there's frost on the pumpkin, and you really can't talk about championships and playoff runs until there's frost on the pumpkin. And we got frost on the pumpkin, Brad. It's go time, baby.
I know that it's playoff time because of my pictures from yesteryear. I've got a beanie on, and I got the hoodie. Come on, let's go. Brad's ready.
Oh, I'm pumped, man. I can't wait to get out there. It's the football weather, man. With the first portion of the season, it's almost like an extended preseason at this point for the starters. And now the 49ers couldn't have had a bye in a more perfect place in the schedule. And with the additions and the pieces and the health that they're getting back, man, I'm super pumped. This game against the Chargers on prime time. You had Mike Tirico on before. I know. It's absolutely legendary interview, by the way, guys.
How great is he?
Dude, he's so good. He's one of my favorite broadcasters.
Me too.
He really is. He's just so good. But this game against the Chargers is going to be phenomenal, and I'm really pumped, man. Again, it all hinges on the 49ers. What team is going to show up? Are they going to execute, have energy? And if they do that, I think they should be able to beat the Chargers. The Chargers are good.
Yep.
They are good. But if they perform at their level, what's stopping them?
Let's go.
I mean, with McCaffrey giving a jolt to this entire roster to beat the Rams the way they did, and you see the Seahawks who are playing in Munich, Germany, we'll be watching at 6:30 in the morning. It's all set up to be another race between the Seahawks and the 49ers out west, and you got the Cowboys and Eagles. This is setting up to be a special, special time, man. I really believe Jimmy Garoppolo, Shanahan, and his core are going to go on a run here in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I do too. Hey, Brad, before you get out of here, I'm looking at the backdrop. If you're on YouTube, you can see this beautiful backdrop that you've got set up back there. How much negotiating, I'll say, did you do with the significant other to be able to have a room dedicated to sports? Because I know how I'm in the industry and my wife still fights me. I open the door for my friends. They're like, this is such a cool studio. And she's like, I hate that room.
Okay, so I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. It wasn't as much negotiating with my wife. It was more negotiating with my daughter because I had to be like, honey, we're going to have to, you and my second youngest are going to have to share a room because daddy needs his ability to do his work. That was where the negotiating came from. My wife was all on it. She understands what we're cooking up over here, but it was the daughter I had to convince.
It
She's
looks
on
great.
board now, but I appreciate it.
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm probably
You're broadcasting from the nursery.
I know. Hey, with no memorabilia up, I couldn't put anything up there. Even a 95-7 game backdrop. Now take that down. You're messing up the nursery. All right, Brad.
Good stuff, Brad.
as always,
Hope
man.
to
We
see you
love you.
Sunday.
Yep, no doubt about it. Follow Brad Graham at SF Niners. Brad, always a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the 49ers and the rest of the league. Thanks so much, Brad.
I appreciate you guys as always. Thanks.
Anytime, Brad Graham, one of the best. Oh, Cron 4 too, every Sunday, man. This guy's doing work out there, man. Weeklies with Cron 4. I feel like, we helped him get there. No, I'm kidding. Brad does great work on his own,
Are you now
man.
doing the rat niche I made you?
Nah, I would never do that. I could. That would be some flex. I got a list. Spadone, I got a list.
That'd be the flex moment of the show.
Time
No,
out. Now
I got a
I want
list.
this list.
No.
Who did you think that you knighted?
No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy, pal. I love Ratnitz, but I'm not that guy.
Well, no, but who do you think that you've had a hand in helping them?
I'm not going there.
Like Flash kicking kicking Wonder Woman's sword back to her.
I'd rather talk about the Warriors,
With a little
Cavaliers.
pinky push.
I mean, he does do a lot of. He came to our class at SF State, Bonte.
What?
My radio
Spadoni?
class, yeah.
So,
I have a hand in the pregame show.
Spadoni sat in the front row next to John Wilson.
No way.
John Wilson, who, by the way, I know you're listening out there. Maybe he's not, but he's the one who told me I needed to go to Bakersfield to make a career out of this, and I cursed him out that day. I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm rolling with the big dogs here in the number 4 market in the city, and if I can't roll the big dogs, I ain't going anywhere. He said Bakersfield, Eureka, something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, we went at it.
Whoa.
We went at it. Now he's working with Ronnie 2K and the 2K folks. Shout out John Wilson. Had just a baby boy just not too long ago. Shout out to the Wilsons.
After you crushed
Congratulations.
him. Yeah.
He knows it's all out of love.
Yeah. So who else is under this Bonte sports tree?
We got a flex moment of the show coming up here, and we got Cavs, Warriors, Warriors and Kings. Warriors and Kings coming up. Come on now. Double dip with 2 basketball games this weekend.
Do you get credit for Lubman?
No, I don't get credit for that. Lubman did it. Even though Lubman... So, true story with Lubman. During the pandemic, I thought it was a guy named Sam Houston who works at another radio station texted me. He's like, yo, I want to get a Zoom together to talk about, the race relations and everything going on and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
There was never a follow-up.
Okay.
I realized that was Sam Lubman that was... and Sam Lubman, who I met at the old studio, he was working at Coit. And he used to cover all the Sharks games and stuff and doing that. I was like, man, who's this redhead kid just running around with his head cut off? Well, Sam Lubman. So, no, I didn't get Sam Lubman in the building. I don't think I can't take credit for that. I'm not going to take credit for that. He did it on his own, man. He worked hard. But that was Sam Lubman. You remember that, Lubman?
I do remember that. Yeah, no, that was, right at the end of May. Things were kind of dour at that time. And, yeah, no, I remember hitting you up and we chatted for a little bit. And, I kind of got distracted by some other stuff. That's why there was no follow-up. But I do remember that.
But that was Lubman that was trying to set that up. I had no idea. I was like, who the hell is this? Oh, I thought it was Sam. Just assumed it was Sam Houston.
So, okay, now that you're playing the role of Master P, adding to the No Limit label.
I'm not that guy.
Am I under your label?
No, I wouldn't put you under my label. Everybody claims you already. Dibley claims you. Damon Bruce claims. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. I didn't make anybody. You know what I'm saying? I may open the door for certain people, but you got to go ahead and knock the door down. You You know what I'm saying? You got to go it out, man. You know, I may lay it out for you. I got to lay it out for you, but you got to play it out. Like Snoop said to Starsky and Husky, I lay it out for you to play it out. Remember that? That was a great line. It was a great line. Starsky and Husky.
Very underrated movie. Starsky and Hutch.
Underrated. Very underrated. I can't get Anna to watch that with me. I'll be trying to watch it. Like, yo, let's watch it. No, I don't want to watch it. Maybe I'll just watch it on my own this weekend. Niners, Chargers, Warriors, Kings,
Bonte Hills,
Warriors, Cavs,
Sports Radio tree.
No, I don't have a tree. Spinoni, was that a great class? By the way, did I come in there and handle it? Did I handle business?
Yeah, it was good. I remember one kid was like, "Hey, I want to work smarter and not harder," and he's like, "Yeah, that's not going to cut it." That's what you said. Yeah, you're like, yeah,
I said that.
No, yeah, because some kid was like, I forget who it was, but he was basically asking, he's like, "Yeah, I don't want to work hard, but I just want to work smarter."
Oh, and I was like, "Yeah,
that's not how it works.
That's not how I roll. That's not how this business works."
Yeah, I'll give you a quick summation. Work your ass off, expect nothing.
Exactly.
But also be smart. That usually helps.
Yeah. Answer that phone.
Work smarter and harder.
Just work hard. Just work hard.
I love you,
Just
Sammy.
work hard. Just work.
Christmas gifts on the way.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, my list is small. Can't wait to get to Chase, though. Cavs, Warriors tonight. If you're by the gatehouse, say what's up. I'll love to say what's up to you. It's going to be a big night. Larry June, I believe, is joining the post-game show.
Is he?
Okay, KK.
Oh, is he going to bring an orange?
He might bring an orange T-shirt.
Nice.
So we'll talk about his new album, Spaceships on the Blade.
Why don't you get it on some sort of a video so we can use for the show? You know, maybe like on the side, like, yo, what's up? This is Larry June. You're listening to Morning Roast. Blah 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 blah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's the best idea you've ever come up with.
I mean, you know, well, I would be out there sourcing stuff for us when I'm out in the field.
No, you would be sourcing things for yourself.
Well, you
hey,
can
Larry,
do two
can
things
I
simultaneously.
get your music video? Hey, Pilo, can I? I was actually shocked you didn't ask Mike Tirico to go play golf with him this weekend.
Well, I'm sure he already has some tee time.
That was the biggest upset of the decade.
I'm sure he's already going from Cal Club to San Francisco Golf Club to the O Club.
Oh,
he's going all over. Lake Merced's newly renovated property.
That's a great idea with Larry June, though. Maybe I'll do that.
I think you should be doing it more often, quite honestly.
Wow, damn. I'm already working 2 jobs. Where's the care? You want me to do more? Can we
Let's
get Lubman
flex.
out there?
Let's
Get
flex.
Lubman out there to do that. That's what you're here for, Lubman. Let's flex.